Joey Options, and I'm Sharif. And we're going to wait for everyone to come on over from the other stream. Hopefully it doesn't take too long today. Last time it took a
little hot minute.
Shout out to a proper dang Paradox is one of the best Christmas gifts. Yes, it is. Shout out to you, my man. We got officially unburdened. What up? I'm officially unburdened by what has been. Bears versus Bulls, Robbie EV. We got RJ Woodkill, as well as Daniel Vargas and Tua. No, it can't be. Tua Tagovailoa. Shout out to you, my man. I didn't know you'd be joining us. I didn't know we'd have celebrities today. BGZ, Pitchbull, Richard Peterson, and Benton. Come on, you Gunners. We play tomorrow. Looks like City tied again. I'm sorry for you guys. Mateus Lane, Fugazi, Bear, Scalp Hunter, and Fairchild. Shout out to Drops Trades and the Sankofa. We got Frank Hong, Cesar Sandoval. We got Cleverly, Reg, Easy Media, Matt C, Ezekiel, Jose Gonzalez checking out as well, joining us. Future Eddie, as well as Nephew with a capital P, Curious and Nessa, Easy Media again. Shout out to Darth Buddha, as well as JG Computers and Dylan Pays. Who else? Elvin Wegner. We got Jordy VWAP. Shout out to him. DJ Marshall and Yannick Nesbitt. Shout out to Elon and Jimmy Donnelly. Cobra's in the house, as well as Gene Cook, Harry S, and Darius Golden. Some of the OGs there in Trader B. Couple more here, Joseph. We got Roy Tesla 77 and Alex, a.k.a. Boneless, not a bone in that dude's body. He's all muscle.
Boneless, straight muscle.
Good morning, Joseph. How are you?
What's up, brother? How was your Christmas, man? Did you get spoiled or what?
Yeah. Well, I'm Orthodox, so we have our Christmas on the 7th. But we get together with the fam. We hang out, open presents. Everything's good. My condo is an absolute mess.
All the wrapping paper.
Yeah.
Everything's good, man. Life is good, man. We got the markets open up today. There's no doubt about that.
Yes, sir.
We can't complain, guys. We're gonna talk about some straddles and strangles today. But Sharif, before we get into the lesson,
yes, sir.
My guy, is there anything you would like to?
There are, Joseph. You know, there's so many small cap gappers today that we had to use 2 tabs here. So I'm gonna go with starting in order. SKK, a multiple halter. It's now breaking down below VWAP, so it interests me far less than it did 10 minutes ago. Likewise here with YHC, also breaking down. But look at LAES. When I was getting ready for the show, this was at 7:05. Just took out that $8 level. Keeping an eye on that one. Likely going to be involved in this one. Likely at 750 or 760, depending if it comes back down there. SES as well. Good mover up 115% on the day. And you saw the Katina man involved in this one in the pre-market. Rigetti still above the volume weighted average price. Just held 13 to a dang T. SFHG just bouncing off VWAP. This is a sub $1 name. Be careful with this one. Rumble continuing to put in higher highs and higher lows, now up to the tune of 30.5%, looking to take out that 16 2/3 MVST, another 25% winner here with multiple topping tails into that 2 1/3. So those are the first 8, but there's more. There's more because the Russ is the only indice or index up today. SOUN. I see you guys yelling about this one in the chat, looking like it wants to take out that 23.5. Just printing day's highs. We've got to keep up GameStop because Catman was tweeting on the weekend. And then KULR, very interesting area here for KULR. A good area, resistance to support flip. And last but certainly not least, GEVO. I always mention this one, reminds me of 2020, 2021. It just touched $2. It's up 32%. Joseph, there's too many to talk about here, but those are the first.
There's a lot going on, and guys, someone in the chat said the States are going to take it. Yeah, that's fine. We'll see about that. Only time will tell. We got to play the games first. And don't forget, our best players are in the NHL too, right? So we got Macklin Celebrini. That kid is, he's a stud. There's no doubt about that. He's playing over there in San Jose. So keep an eye out for that. But if the NHL teams were to release our top teenage players, it's not even close. The competition is not even close whatsoever. So, I mean, I love the tournament. There's nothing better than playing the States and Russia. I remember I was about 18 years old before we get into the lesson kick here. I was I think I was 17 years old partying in Montreal. And on the New Year's party, it was Canada versus the States. And it was one of the best times that I have. We were at the club watching this game. Yeah. So
gonna hit the bank.
That was a good time there. There's no doubt. I'll never forget that one, guys, folks. But let's hop into this lesson here and get this Christmas party started. And yeah, exactly. So guys, we're gonna go over some straddles and strangles. I know now is not necessarily time to implement this type of strategy, but we're gonna go over it anyways. And maybe you can just add this to your arsenal of trading and into your playbook. All right, folks. So let's get the ball rolling. So straddles and strangles, folks, just what we're gonna be going over. Expected move and open interest, because that's important when implying these types of strategies, okay? So straddles can be classified as an intermediate level option strategy. This is best utilized when large increases in implied volatility are expected, including large expected moves. So again, with that FOMC meeting, great time to implement this type of strategy, and most importantly, during earnings, okay? So as I mentioned, earnings announcements consists of 2 options contracts with the same strike and expiration date. So it's very simplistic. You only need 2 legs of this trade when constructing the straddle, and that's just one of each strike there, all right? We're gonna get more into that. So stock XYZ is trading at $50. You buy 1 at the money call, and then you buy 1 at the money put. It's literally that simple. So what the goal of this strategy is that implied volatility is going to vastly increase, and one contract is going to vastly outweigh the other, all right? So that is kind of the goal of what the straddle is. So trade is most profitable when a significant move is made in either direction or a large increase in implied volatility. Max potential loss is total debit paid for both contracts. So that's something really key. I mean, other than you not being able to exercise your options outside of the market hours, so when it's closed, you have a certain amount of time, only a couple of minutes where you can exercise those, but you can't open or close any other contracts in that aspect, and same in the pre-market. But this is really important. The max you can lose is the total debit paid for that. So if you paid $2 per contract, so a total of $400, that's the max you can lose. So the risk is fairly defined on that front, all right? So let's keep that in mind. This is how you would construct a straddle and at-the-money straddle right here, folks. So as you can see, we're just buying both of these calls. So on NVDA, we buy it about a week out. Let's pretend that the earnings call was the following day or that day of. So we're buying this just before the close here, and this is the premium that we pay for this contract, okay? So just keep that in mind, and the max loss is, so it's about a 42% probability, but again, you just add these 2 up, and sure enough, that will be your max loss, but you have to pay that debit, and the goal of this strategy is that one contract will vastly increase and then outweigh the value of the other contract. So you also need this to beat the expected move in order for this strategy to work, all right? So again, strangles, let's move on to strangles. Strangles is an option strategy that consists of buying out the money calls and puts in the same expiration cycle. So stock XYZ is trading at $50. You buy the 55 call and buy the 45 put. The strangle also requires a significant move in the stock price or IB in order to be profitable. So now, another quick example. If you're a little bit more bullish on one side of the chain, like say you're a little bit more bullish on the call side, you can play the strangle with the anticipation that, hey, we're going to exceed the expected move and then some, right? So there you're going to collect the extrinsic value of the contract, and then when it becomes intrinsically valued, that's when you can really exceed those gains, especially when you beat the expected move, all right? So the strangle also
we just got to pay a bill.
Oh, pay a bill. Yeah, let's pay a bill. Yeah,
quick
absolutely,
one.
bro.
So
I didn't hear it in the ear.
Yeah, no worries. All right, guys, trade ideas this Christmas. Well, past. Give yourself the gift of smarter trading with trade ideas. Don't miss out on their 25% on all subscriptions, including upgrades to premium. You'll unlock powerful trading tools and insights to take your strategies to the next level. But hurry. This special offer ends today, December 26th. Use code TRADERTV.live at the checkout to save big. So go on right now, visit trade-ideas.com today and make this holiday season your most profitable yet. Shout out to the good folks at Trade Ideas.
There we are. All right, so hopping right back into things here. So the strangle also requires a significant move in the stock price or the implied volatility in order to be profitable. Due to the large profit potential, the strategy does not have a high probability of profit as well, too. All right, so again, you're going to sit around that 35-40% range of being profitable. I like to straddle the max loss is the total debit paid for the long call and long put. You can create a more directional bias strangle by offsetting the deltas on the long calls and long puts, as I kind of used as an example before. All right, folks. So here is just an example of the strangle and what you would be paying for that one. So the max loss for this strangle is about $1,135 with an infinite return, and then you can see that probability of profit hovering around that 41%. Same kind of as that straddle as well too. But it's really important. You need that implied volatility to step in significantly and then exceed the expected move in order to be profitable on these strategies. So here's just a couple examples of what you want to be playing. And these are earnings announcements of Tesla and AMD. And if they, I can't recall if they beat the expected move, but I'm pretty sure Tesla did on this call. So again, that's a scenario where you can be profitable. And the same thing with the AMD short, all right? So you need one contract to significantly outweigh the other, right, in order to become profitable, because you're going to pay a debit. And as one side starts to appreciate, whether it be up or down, the other side of that trade, that contract is going to lose its value. So you need that to move significantly in order to be profitable, okay? And the same thing with PLTR. Went on an absolute monster run on that last earnings report there, too, folks, where that scenario, you can be extremely profitable. And then there's a scenario like this where it doesn't necessarily may not work in your favor. The price action isn't as clean. And if you stay within that range, so if you stay within that kind of range of your long put and your long call, then that's where you're going to get hurt. And especially with the increased implied volatility, the options market's going to have that priced in, right? So if you don't exceed those moves, then potentially you're just going to be sitting on a trade that may not be profitable, especially day after day when that implied volatility starts to cool off. Now, here's another example of where it may not work as well, too. We didn't exceed the expected move in either direction, so you're kind of just stuck holding on to these two contracts with the implied volatility also cooling off day by day. So you want to get rid of these contracts as much as possible, all right? So we'll stop there. We'll send it off to Sharif, and then we're going to come back and touch on the expected move and implied volatility.
All right, we're in a few positions over here. The first one I really I messed up on. Rigetti, we took some good size, but took it out far too quickly as a bit of a fat finger there. I had to take it out at 14 because there was a chance it would have rejected. I would have let this last little bit run. I've got a dip trade set up at 13 2/3. If it wants to come back in there, I actually have to move that up because I was trying to shadow the 10 exponential moving average, and the 10 exponential is now at 13 1/4. Excuse me, 3/4. So we'll keep an eye out on that one. KULR as well. In at the $0.50, a little bit below the $0.50. We got some out there at 48, or got in at 48, out at 62, waiting here in front of this area crest at 65s. I'm waiting at 64s. I do have a dip trade to add on KULR at around the volume weighted average price at 4 1/3. So we'll keep an eye on that one. GEVO, GEVO. I'm involved in this one as well. Perfect dip trade. There we go. We'll take out some there as this one dipped super quick into 92s. I did layer my orders to account for this area trough over here at around 10:30 that we dipped into. It got into 186, so I was thinking, all right, well, if it comes and tests at least that previous area low, I want to have some orders waiting around there so that I could wet my beak. So now we're going to sit at $2, a bit of a bigger position with this one, and then we can take out more if it does take out that 2.5. So involved in a couple of small cap gappers right now. trying to extract some profitability from them, but already disappointed with myself with how I traded RGTI. Should have been a way bigger move, but a bit of a fat finger on my part there. We'll look to do a little bit better. So keeping my eye on KUL. Now this one, this is the big boy right here. This is the one that I missed. And I was actually sitting down looking at this one at 7 1/4, 7 1/3, and then it just took off. I didn't want to get into the position before I got onto the show, but that was a mistake. So let me show you exactly what I'm seeing here on the 5-minute on LAES. This is looking like the best of the bunch, despite the fact that it's only up 55% on the day, not even a triple-digit winner. But beautiful entry right here, right at the 10 exponential moving average. And then what you saw, not just that it touched the 10 exponential moving average, but it foreshadowed the move higher vis-a-vis a doji candle. Then look at the subsequent candle after that, a higher low and a higher high. Then you got the explosion on the third candle when everybody and their mother noticed exactly what it was doing, and then you haven't looked back since. So I'm gonna set up exactly where I said I would set up at the 10 exponential. I'm gonna have an order in the mid 80s, and I'm also gonna have an order at around the low 70s, high 60s. Reason being, because this area crest over here could act as an area of support, previously resistance, of course. So if that 10 exponential means bupkis to LAES, well, maybe this price action resistance means something to it. So keeping an eye on the two that I'm in, but very interested in weaseling into some more here on LAES. Rumble's also giving you about, 45 pennies off the high, just touch 1670. It's also coming into the 10 exponential, and when it has on this way up touched the 10 exponential, it's been awfully brief, awfully fleeting. Look at this hammer candle over here that just quickly glanced at the 10 exponential and then rocketed up about 25 pennies. So Rumble coming down in now could be a great entry opportunity for here. We're going to give this one the old college try and keep an eye on it. So it's currently in GVO, currently in KULR, looking for some more entries. Joseph.
Yeah, good stuff there, Sharif. We just punched into some NVDA as well too, brother. So we're down about just under 0.5% on NVDA. We're slowly starting to climb back. I'm curious to what's dragging the Qs into SPY up. So you know what I'm going to do, folks? It's time to see the top sector performing sectors of the day, because I want to know what is driving the SPY up. And sure enough, healthcare, we're up only about 0.22% there on the session thus far, and then real estate about 0.18%. And consumer staples about 0.18% as well too. So I mean, this can maybe determine why the SPY is slightly stronger than the Qs, but not by much. So I want to take a look at XLF, even though it is still slightly red on the session, negative 0.02%. I want to see why is the market moving, but some of these mega caps aren't necessarily moving with it. We have Tesla pulling back and going to test those lows of days possibly as well too. But Amazon is just hovering around the volume weighted average price. So I'm curious to take a gander at some of these mega caps and really see what is driving the market. And if you guys want to let me know in the chat, that'd be fantastic as well too. But we're in here on some NVDA. We punched through VWAP really nice, and then we kind of formed this ABCD pattern. I'm getting in on the trend slightly late. Totally fine. If we breach 139, I'm getting out of dodge here. So we'll see what's going on with NVDA. We're going to continue to monitor this. I seen Sharif was in KULR. I want to watch that as well too, because Dara put some news on it that this company is going to add some Bitcoin, around $21 million of Bitcoin, I'm pretty sure, onto their balance sheet, and then going to look to add some more or something along those lines. So let's see if we can get involved on that front, because we have Bitcoin trading around 96,400 right now on the daily. And I was telling Sharif, I'm looking at the options chain when I was talking to him about it. I said, I think it might be time for me to start selling some calls against this position, especially if we decide that we want to breach the support level that we have on Bitcoin. And I'll pull it up for you guys real quick and just tell you kind of what my game plan for this is going to be. So as we are hovering and holding that 92K level really, really well, what I don't like is that we didn't have too much continuation after that Tuesday session, right? I was looking for some more continuation in the strength, but we didn't get that. And now we're kind of pulling back. Sharif mentioned, hey, I watched it reject that 100K level overnight, and then now we're starting to pull back to that $95,000 level. If we get an open below this candle close, then I am going to build a thesis stating that, hey, I think there's going to be some more potential downside. Are we creating somewhat of a head and shoulders pattern on Bitcoin? Only time will tell. We need this to form, but I will be prepared to sell some calls against my position if we do breach this support level around 91,000. So we're going to keep an eye out on that. There's no questions about that. And then we're going to look to sell some calls only about a week or two out. I don't want to hold on to those for too long because I do have unrealized gains, and if we do decide that we want to go into the mid-80s, I want to collect some of that profit, get out of Dodge, and then look where I can get back into those positions. But as of right now, Sharif, we're just holding on to this NVDA, and we're going to look to get into some QULR when the time is right.
All right, we're in Apple right now, so I'm looking to take this move up, but I was looking to place my stop, and I'm just like, okay, let me place it below a whole dollar. I don't think that that's the right move. I think that the right move is to at least add into the volume weighted average price. Currently, the volume weighted average price on my side chart, 258.80. So we've set up a couple of beak wetters through the break of 20, but I'm going to add dip trades, in fact, on Apple into the whole dollar. So we're going to set up at 01s. And I'm also going to set up into the 80s, 258. I'll set up at 90s, low 90s there, because I'd like to be DCAing into the VWAP, into the volume weighted average price, in case we do get a bit of a retracement, because right now we're on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green candle setup. So it stands to reason we get a retracement, especially with the future. Coming into that 22,000 point area, we could find resistance at that area. So I'm putting in a couple of dip trades here on AAPL. There we go. We get filled on the way down. So we'll see now what Apple wants to do with the volume weighted average price. Currently, it's around 82s. We're printing 95s. So keeping my eye on Apple here as it gets a bit of a pullback. We're long 10s. So we'll keep an eye out on that. Rigetti coming into the area that I'd like to pick it up on. Somebody in the chat was asking me, Sharif, where would you get into Rigetti? Well, I'm like, it looks like possibly that, what's it called over here? The 10 exponential was 13.77, but the price action support was between the $0.25 and the third of a dollar. So that's what I'm keeping my eye on right now. I'd like to be able to pick up some around there on RGTI. I realize that it's kind of setting up in a bit of a double top, but that's what higher highs and higher lows look like. So what we're going to do, we're going to get into some Rigetti over here, very small position, and I'll be looking at dollar cost average into the half dollar and then into the third of a dollar, because that is where I see price action support on RGTI. Let's manage the positions we're currently in. KULR, still whiffling and waffling in a consolidation range. LAES, we haven't gotten any prints because it hasn't come back down into that 7 3/4. Apple or Rigetti there, we got the ad, that's fine. Apple right back up, so on the ad on that 259, fine. Gevo, we're printing on that. We took out the $2, now I'm waiting at 205s. So we're in 4 positions right now, trying to manage all of them as best as I can at the same time. We'll keep an eye out on this one. Use stops, guys, especially if you're going to be crazy like me and looking to trade 4 different names, Joseph. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Only big cap I'm in is AAPL.
AAPL, yeah. I mean, going to all-time highs again today, Sharif, is Apple. And you know what? We're not going to complain about that one at all. We like Apple for the foreseeable future. And I mentioned this multiple times. Again, like with inflows coming into the market and Apple being in so many different ETFs, sure enough, they're going to get a piece of that pie as well too. So look at this run that Apple's been on, Sharif, since the break of 238. It essentially hasn't looked back. These pullbacks have been micro pullbacks in my opinion, and then we just continue on this amazing trajectory to the top side. So again, beautiful trading from Apple. I don't know about you, Sharif, but I'm going to be looking to get the new iPhone, especially when the Apple Intelligence comes out and we get that going full throttle. So I'm looking forward to that. I mean, I'm sitting on an iPhone 10 here, and it's funny. I was joking with my friends the other day. It's like that thing's been to Mexico, there's been to so many places, and it's fell in almost every pool that you can imagine. And yeah, so we're gonna have to upgrade that one. And my girlfriend's giving me a hard time too, saying, yeah, she can't send me pictures because the thing's too too full. And yeah, so I'm sick of it. Yeah, so we're gonna hop on the Danny Ives train here, Sharif, shortly, and we're gonna get into that super cycle upgrading the iPhone as well too. So we're gonna look to get involved in that. There's no doubt about that. And guys, continue to let me know what you guys are looking at. If you have any questions about Straddles and Strangles, be sure to put them in the chat, and I'm going to do my best to answer them. Sharif and I will. So I got a comment. Thanks. I've been trying. It's not easy. I don't trust YouTube to learn stocks. I mean, hey, man, YouTube University is one of the greatest places on the planet. You don't have to take everything with a grain of salt, but the more, I guess, you listen and the more videos that you watch, take a little bit from everybody, because that's what I did, right? So take a little bit of information from everybody and then implement that into your own ways and kind of create your own DNA and your own style of trading, right? If you don't trust YouTube, I guarantee you that the majority of the traders, I can ask Obi, I can ask Sharif, that they definitely got a lot of their information and how they became successful in trading is from books and YouTube, right? You don't have to take everything literal. Take what you want. Make sure you do your own research as well too, and then learn that way. But eventually, it's only a matter of seed time until you can be able to interpret the market, kind of how we talk about it as well too. But again, YouTube University, you cannot go wrong there, folks. Yeah, and I'm getting a lot of comments. I'm trying to get good at options. Yeah, Philip, it takes time. It takes time. I mean, Wayner's a great options trader. There's a lot of good options traders around me. Surround yourself around good people, and then sure enough, you'll be able to get to where you want to go. And just keep working. It's a matter of time. That's the one thing about trading as well too. It's not okay. You're not going to pick things up right away. There's no doubt about that. But the more you just sit around and watch screens and see what's going on with the overall market, then the quicker you'll pick up on things, all right? So just keep that in mind. What am I doing? KULR, I'm trying to pull this up here, but it's not cooperating. Is that A? Yeah, I'm on KULR.
I had the same thing.
Yeah, I typed it in. So yeah, I'm gonna watch it here. It's starting to kind of, well, it's not starting, it has been consolidating in this range. So let's see if we can catch the bottom of this range on this, and then maybe we break for that second or that third leg higher. Because as you can see here, we had a really, really strong opening drive. Beautiful consolidation phase, taking that second leg higher, and then sure enough, just pulling back, holding VWAP really well. So we're gonna keep that in mind. I wanna stick to something that's strong. This thing's also up about 32%, going on 33%. So if we can catch the bottom of this range or around the volume weighted average price, then I think we're gonna be sitting in a pretty spot with KULR.
I like it, man. All right, bro. So here we go. We took out some here on Rigetti on the dip trade. Now it's at 92s. Where am I long on Rigetti? We're long at 67, so it's going to need to clear 14, and by extension, obviously, I want to take a new high, so it's going to need to clear 14 in the fifth. So last time, we fat-fingered. Hopefully, we won't fat-finger again, but we may have trouble with 14. We had trouble with it over here. We didn't spend too long on top of 14 over here, and then quick as you like, we made a break below 14, but here we go with 14 again on our GTI. Can we get a decisive break? It's not going to happen, looks like immediately. Again, I'm going to be looking for a beak wetter, likely at the fifth of $1 to the quarter of $1. I'm talking about 14 quarter dollars. So we'll see how this one wants to continue to run up. So that's the look right now. Apple is coming back down. Look, I'm trying to defend the volume weighted average price here. I've already set my stop below the break of 70. There is price action support at 70. So that's the case. It's going to have to hold VWAP or we're going to get out of Apple. Now, GEVO, G-E-V-O, we wet the beak at 2. It's whiffling and waffling at 97s. Not much to report at there, or report on, excuse me. Let's go all the way back to LAES. This was a mistake. So I insisted on having my order at 7 3/4 to account for this area crest, an area rejection, so an area of previous resistance. I thought that it would give way at 8, come back into that area and hold up. I was wrong. It held 8, and now it's back at 8 1/3. I likely should have had a small position waiting at 8 with the larger position waiting at 7 3/4 just so that I could get involved. If this one didn't come down, which it didn't, at least not yet, into my area. What the hell is going on over here, bro? All right, we're going to have to put this bad boy on silent because someone's spamming my phone, you know, like. All right, so that's a look right now on LAES. Let's go back to KULR. It's boring me to death, but look at Rigetti go, and there is the fifth of a dollar, and that's going to be the end of the trade. As I said, I would take it out there. Bang on Rigetti. We get in on the dip trade, right back into that $14.25. I'm not letting Rigetti off the hook, though, quite frankly, so we're out of it now, but that's it for now. Underline that for now. We'll look to get back in on every successive trough, because what this one is doing is a series of higher lows and higher highs. If that's the case, I'm going to ride the trend till it gives me the finger and tells me to get out. Joseph.
Yes, sir. I'm reading this really interesting statement by Jimmy Donnelly. So he has 10 RGTI calls expiring January 31st with a strike price of $70. I want to exercise rights to buy 100 shares. One call, but I don't know if it's worth losing the premium besides the fact I'm bullish. Thoughts? I'd love experience point of view. Well, I mean, you have 10 calls and you want to exercise the rights, RGTI. Let me pull it up here first and foremost. Oh, okay. When did you buy these calls? Because I'm looking at RGTI around $14.16. There's no need to exercise those contracts if you're that in the money and you are, and they don't expire until the end of next month. You can just close one of those contracts if you really want to lock in those gains, because you have a $7 strike at a $7 strike. So you should have gained a significant amount on those contracts. But if you just want to own the outright shares, you can do an early exercise if you really want to. But again, that options contract will equal the value of what the shares are trading at now. So there's no need to exercise that contract. But if you want to own the shares at $7, you could. But I mean, there's no necessarily reason for you to. You can just close it and lock in those gains if that's what you want to do, and then hold on to those remainder of those contracts. But I mean, if you want to own 100 shares at $7, by all means, you can do an early exercise and collect those shares. But again, you're sitting pretty as of right now, so congratulations to you. But those are just my opinion on that front. So hopefully that helped you a little bit out there, Jimmy, because there's no need. You're really in the money. You should be over 100% on the value of those contracts. I don't know if you bought them at the money or out the money. Even so, you're sitting pretty good right now, and I don't think you need to do an early exercise at this point, because again, the options contract will just equal the value of what the shares are trading at right now. So, I mean, hopefully that helped. It was around $8. Hopefully that helped. But if you want to, then and experiment it. If you have the cash in your account to do so, then by all means, then it's not going to change too much. You'll still have 9 contracts that expire the 31st, and then you'll just have 100 shares of stock if you really want to go down that route. But again, nice trade, and that's just my sense on that front. But Sharif, we got into KULR. We caught the bottom of that range, so let's see if we can break this 459 level here, and then maybe continue and test the high a day, because that's what I'm going to try to aim for if we do decide that we want to break this key resistance level sitting around that $4.61. And sure enough, the volume is starting to step in here, folks, and we are pushing a little bit higher. So nice little grab there. I think we can break this and then go potentially test the high a day. If we hit 480, then we're going to look to take the majority of the position off. But as of right now, let's let this trade work out. Let's let it cook up a little bit here and potentially see where we can go. Because adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet or whatever they're doing, looking to buy $21 million worth, then hey, let's get involved here. Even though Bitcoin isn't doing too much today, and I already kind of gave you my thesis on that thing for the near future, then yeah, let's go. I mean.
Oh, we got to go to Adara, but
do we? I don't. Okay, yeah. No, that's all right. Yeah, that's all right. No, okay, yeah. We're gonna send it to Adara here real quick.
Hi guys, usually in the mornings here during the midday from about 11 to 12, we'll do a segment where we'll look at the larger movers to the upside and the downside in the S&P 500, and we'll take a look at earnings, but we don't really have any earnings this week, and there aren't any significant movers in the S&P 500, so I wanted to do a little bit something different and take a look at the significant movers to the upside in the S&P 500 this year. So here's the S&P 500. This is the SPY. We have made 57 new all-time highs in the SPY this year. This is as of close on December 23rd. So great look here. Definitely a little bit of resistance for the S&P 500 around that 608 level, but generally pretty strong. Now let's take a look at our largest mover to the upside on the S&P 500 this year. And this is a relatively new S&P 500 entrant. It's Palantir. PLTR is up 386.67%. Year to date, as of December 23rd. Then we get VST, which is another name, much like Palantir, that was added to the S&P 500 only earlier this year. So both of these new entries are number 1 and 2 on the list of top gainers. Star Corporation up 269.82% year to date. Last but not least is a name we know very well, NVDA here, up 189.95%, almost 200% year to date. That is as of the close of December 23rd. So we'll take a look here at the other names on the top 10 really quickly. GE Vernova, GEV up about 162.8%. Then we have Axon, AXON Enterprises, much like Palantir, they're just added to the NASDAQ. They're up 148% year over year. UAL here up about 144.3% year over year. Broadcom, AVGO up 114% year over year. TPL, Texas Pacific Land Corp, up 113%. Targa Resources, TRGP, is up 106%. And then last but not least, Howmet Aerospace, HWM, up 105.73%. Those are the top 10 gainers, and they're all up over 100%. So great year for the S&P 500 and for many of its constituents. Guys, back to you.
To Matt C, good call out, sir. EOSE, good look over here. Moving higher highs and higher lows. Guys, chart, please. As we move up into that 518 area, good. I mean, it hasn't even touched the 10 exponential moving average on the 5. My only complaint about this one is it's a $5 name with about 6 million shares. I guess shouldn't complain too much on Boxing Day. Obviously, the day after Christmas, maybe some of these ones don't end up manifesting as much volume as they typically would on a regular day. But hey, Matt C, man. I like anything off the 10 exponential. You got to assume that if we get a pullback, maybe we pull back into the whole dollar. I'd be shadowing the 10 exponential with a dip trade as well as the whole dollar at 5. So, because sometimes you don't just get the touch at the 10 exponential. It's a bit of a deeper retracement as these algos look to take profits. So, I don't know if you're a newer viewer or whatever, but the green solid line on my chart's always the 10 exponential, so I'd probably put a dip trade around there. You obviously know that these moving averages are dynamic levels. They change, so your order will have to change as this one continues to ascend. But it's a good look. It took 5. It didn't even look back at 5 like it didn't even matter. So, this one's definitely got some momentum to it. Keep your eye out in it. It's already earned a place on my side chart, my coveted EOSE, my coveted small cap gapper side charts. We're going to give this one a box over here and keep an eye out on it. KUL dang R. We took out 65s, and now I'm waiting here at 74s to front run the level at 75 in case we do reject off that $0.75. I'm talking about KULR. If you don't know, this one trades on the pink sheet, on the Amex, excuse me. So on the OTC markets, you got to have access to that. Not everybody typically has access to OTC, so you may not be able to trade this on your platform unless you have permissions. I know that I have to pay extra for mine. So on my platform, I had to pay extra for the data for these OTC. Shout out to Jeff Mendel. Thank you for making everything easy. So keeping an eye out on that. LASE continues to bounce here. Really disappointed with how I didn't get involved in this one. I had 2 opportunities, 7 1/3 and 8, and I missed both of them. So, yeah, a little bit frustrated with that one. Hopefully, we'll do a little bit better on these other ones. Rigetti keeps going here. So, it whiffled, and it waffled at 14 1/5, and now it just took out 14.40. So, I'm trying to, be... I know I obviously should have been picking up more at 14. It dipped into 14 several times. It did find buyers there. That should have been my cue, but I had to manage some other positions, and so I didn't necessarily see that 14 dip and pop in real time. I'll keep my eye out on that if it wants to come back into 14s. Apple, bro, don't disappoint me. Right. I mean, it's the day after Christmas. You and I have been involved in a long-term relationship over here. We're going on a year and a half. Ooh. And you know what I'm saying? Like, we should be celebrating over here. And now you're a little bit disappointing me here, dead one. No, kidding. Of course, I'm not psycho. I don't date stocks. No, but in all seriousness, though, I did look to defend a dollar cost average into the volume weighted average price. We've got 3 anemic green candles off the 10. VWAP. Let me show you what I'm seeing on my 5-minute chart, because we're about 3 pennies out of the money, but that isn't my concern. My concern is these pops right here. Yeah, sure, it does have a bigger red candle. It comes into VWAP. Yes, they put in newer highs and newer lows, or higher highs, excuse me, and higher lows, but they're candles of indecision with equidistant, top and bottom wicks. You're not getting that continuation. So my concern is here that we do a 3-candle pop, but then we continue to drop. That's my concern. And we're not really taking out levels with any vigor, especially, similar to the way that we did it over here, starting at around 1050 and then really concluding at a quarter after the hour. I'm sitting at the 10s just to take out some there, despite the fact that, I'd obviously like to take out more in front of that 20, because that's the area crest over here. I'm talking about 259.20 on Apple. Neither level is forthcoming, not 10s or 20s. So we're going to have to continue to pack our patience. It did come up into 9s there. I didn't get filled, obviously, because I wasn't waiting at 9s. We'll see if Apple wants to continue moving up here. Hardly trading these large caps anymore. Really focusing now on the small caps. But I saw Apple with aggression. Danny Ives loving this one. It was moving up aggressively to open up the day. I was like, all right, maybe Apple can catch a bit of a tailwind over here in this holiday shortened week. And there we go. We got the fill at 10s. Where are we long now? We're long at the whole dollar exactly. Now I'm waiting at the fifth of a dollar. So I'm waiting at 259.20s, and I've layered my orders as such above that to account for beak wetters into that third of a dollar. But again, Apple not really directional as it was before, so packing our patience there. Back to KULR over here, Joseph.
Yes, sir.
Bang! We take out some at the $0.75. Now we're going to wait for a high daybreak, Joseph. We're not taking anything out over here unless we get into that 499s. We'll throw that out there. What are you looking at?
Yeah, you know what? I like that thesis, my guy, so I'm going to stick to you. I'm going to stick with you on that one. We took about 40% of the position off here now, so I'm going to hold for that higher day break. But I will be watching just in case that higher day break does fail. But one thing I do want to point out, guys, is that volume on the lower time frame is starting to pick up. And as we start to stair step, that dwindling volume on these pullbacks is a really good look on that front. But again, that volume on the lower time frames starting to pick up. This can confirm our breakout to the top side. Let's see if we can go and test that high day and then potentially break it. We're up a whopping 38.5% on the session this far, and I like kind of what Shrieve's getting at today, just especially from avoiding some of the mega caps and going to some of these stocks that are moving. So that's one thing that I really need to hyper focus on more. And I'll be frank, is like me, and I said this for a while now, NVIDIA and I are not in sync. I go back and I look at the statistics. If I didn't trade NVDA, and I'm just going to leave it at that. If I didn't trade NVDA on most days, then I'm going to be looking at nice profitable sessions, all right? So it's up to me now to just realize, hey, NVDA is not necessarily in play like it was. And as you can tell, guys, we've been consolidating in a specific range. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Was it? Oh, no, it's not going to do that for me. So I'll pull it up anyways. NVDA, yeah, even though we're in it right now, but let's take a look at this from a daily perspective, right? And just why, even though we are trending in the right direction, okay, thank you. I don't know why you're doing that. Here we go.
Want me to talk to it?
Yeah, please, and just be like, hey, man, come on, Joe, cooperate with us.
Yo, Jensen, bro.
Jensen, bro.
I'll take away your jacket.
Yeah, I would take away. Don't take. Hey, he built a success on the leather jacket, so you can't take that away from him. There's no way. There's no doubt about that. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna pull it up on something else here. Sorry for the delays. Embarrassing. But yeah, guys, let's take a look at NVDA from a daily perspective and just see kind of what I've been trading within. And it's like, hey, I don't necessarily want to be trading. This is not where my edge lays. You're going to get your setup showing up, but that continuation and strength isn't there. It's just like one green day, one red day, couple red days, one green day, couple green days, etc. And just moving, but we're trading within this range, and I'm not statistically good at trading within these range. I need these nice steady trends in order for my system to work with me. So it's my goal, even if the setups do show up, it's just avoid this thing at all costs. You can dabble in it a little bit, that's totally fine. But for me, again, I'm just avoiding this ticker for the most part. Sharif, what do you got going on, brother?
Just keeping an eye on Apple, man. Still whiffling and waffling at these levels, so not doing much there. Keeping an eye on as well, KULR. It got into 80s, so now, you know, the lofty goal of $5 doesn't seem so lot. Well, maybe it does, but we'll see. KULR continuing to put higher highs and higher lows. Real pleased with this one. As I am real dang pleased with GE dang VO. There it goes, Joseph. I appreciate you. Here comes 205. We're just going to take it out here at 04s because I don't want to be missing that. We're going to now put it a little bit higher here on GEVO. We're going to set up a little bit higher. Hello, cancel my order. Thank you. So I'm going to let this one go now. Now that we've taken out the majority of the position into 05s, let this one cook. Let's see where it can get into higher day. Probably behooves us to do a little bit of charting over here to figure out where we could encounter some resistance, at least maybe on the daily. Flip into the daily here on GEVO, but true to form, this platform has to annoy me because it's taken a long time. So I'm gonna let that cook. Apple, bang! Here comes the $0.25 on Apple. I'm waiting at the $0.25, Joseph. We're gonna have to wait a little bit longer. No fill yet on AAPL, but at least it's holding up and not breaking down below VWAP. Maybe I shouldn't have jinxed it, but I'll let that one cook for a sec over here. So GEVO, back to GVO. Sorry to jump, guys. Looks like into that 2 1/5. So 220 to 225. It looks like we kind of consolidated there back on November 1st and November 4th. Yeah, maybe even 2 1/3 with the opening print on November 6th being that 2 1/3, and then we obviously finished at the lows there. So GEVO, realistically, we could get into 220, 2 1/4, 2 1/3. That will be where I set up for the next peak weather on GEVO. It's up 34%. Good look, and it took $2. I'd like to see it ideally, obviously, stay ahead of $2. That is the psychological level of support now that you've cleared it. So I'll be packing my patience to keep an eye out on that. True to form, Apple right back down after touching that $0.25, right back down into tens. But it is on the more positive side of things, at least from where I got it in at 258.80s, it is incrementally putting in higher lows, higher highs after using the volume weighted average price as its foundation, as its level of price action support. So Apple, you know, despite the fact that it's been a bit more volatile lately, especially on the opening prints and the closing prints, I'm sure you guys have been watching this into the open, into the close. There's been a lot of market on open orders and a lot of market on close orders. And rightfully so. We know that that's how larger institutions accumulate their positions. You know, usually they tip their hand a little bit when they have these buy programs on during the day because it's so directional and it looks as if, you know, constantly higher highs, higher lows. But when you have that opening print, you're being paired with like-minded individuals who want to sell. You're being paired, obviously, or if you're selling, you're being paired with people who want to buy. So that is kind of what I've been noticing on Apple. Aggressive openings, aggressive closes. We'll have to see if the midday here gives us some decent positions on AAPL. Nothing forthcoming so far yet. Joseph.
Hey, my guy, my glizzy. Yo, so guess how much Boeing is up off the bottoms there, Sharif? Oh, you look, you've seen it already.
45.72%.
No, that's how much, that's a dollar.
That's a good
It's up 33.5% and continuing to put in this absolute monster run. I don't know what you think about Boeing, Sharif, but I've stated multiple times there's not too much competition in the commercial airspace realm. They got Airbus and Boeing, right? So it's just like, again, why can't you just get your act together, do what you need to do from a safety standpoint? I know it's expensive, but you have next to no competition. So come on, you got to do a little bit better than this. Everybody flies on Boeings. Everybody travels on them. They're probably, again, going to commercial to private. They're in the military aspect as well, too. So it's just like, come on, it's time, get your act together. They got all these astronauts stuck in space is what you're saying as well, too. So it's like, come on, guys. Like I know they have the new CEO. So I'm excited to see some quarters coming out, some reports coming out from Boeing in the near future. And if those reports start to turn positive, they're beating deliveries, all right, they're getting new inflows as well, too. I'm going to look to participate in Boeing for the foreseeable future because I really like this company and I hope that they can get their act together on that front, all right, guys? So we'll continue to look at Boeing and monitor it. I know a lot of people in the chat talk about it as well, too. So that's why I want to kind of point that out. Really like Boeing. Let's take a look at, whoa, Walmart, okay. I really like this here on Walmart. We did get that pullback off the top there, folks, which is really nice. Let's see what the, thank you. So again, it was about a 8% pullback, just a little under there. 7.3% pullback there on Walmart. Now recovering some of those losses. A really, really nice hammer doji on this Walmart daily chart that I really like, and then we broke it. We had the inability to create any new lows. So is this a potential dip buy in Walmart? As of right now, it's looking like it, especially because we broke that 91.50 level and then continuing to the top side. So as long as we don't break that 88.75-ish level, then I think that we can continue to the top side in Walmart, because we all know that it's America's darling. So we're going to continue to monitor these strong stocks and things that are moving into the top side. And what is also continuing to make new highs as well too, Sharif, is the SPY and Qs. We're putting in an absolute monster session again, especially after what it was Tuesday, Christmas Eve. Didn't even really pull back. We gave back a little bit of that move, but again, just a nice engulfing candle here on the 5-minute, and then just not looking back, continuing to trade above 600. So let's see how far we are off of those all-time highs on the SPY, and it's going to be just fractions of a percent at this point, even maybe a percent or two, folks. So again, I mentioned this too as well with these spikes on the VIX being over 60%, and then the following day, or not the following day, within a month, the market makes new all-time highs. So we're down about just a percent or so, we'll call it here, off the all-time highs on SPY. Let's see if this market is going to continue to recover, because I think that we're on that path where we can go and push for all-time highs again, Sharif. What do you think, brother?
Yes, sir. I agree. All right, let's have a look at some of the other small cap gappers that we haven't mentioned too much about. Guys, SOU1 is a dang rocket ship. I mean, I haven't been able to get into this one because it hasn't been coming in to any predictable levels. It hasn't touched the 10 exponential moving average since 10:20 this morning. It's just been a series of higher lows and higher highs. I guess an ex post facto analysis over here, I could look at the umpteen amount of bottoming tail candles. Well, why would I be looking at bottoming tail candles? Well, I'll submit to you that bottoming tail candles are just another way of seeing how aggressive buyers are becoming. Every time it dips in there, it's being met with aggressive buying. So moving up each candle towards the body of the candle towards the higher end of the wick there. So case in point, every one of these has bottoming tails or bottoming tails, that are longer than the topping tails. So that just shows you buyer exuberance. So SOUN, not the biggest percentage mover up on the day, 17 3/4 or almost 17 4/5 right now. I'd like it off a predictable area. It's going to have to come back into 23, something deeper, maybe into the 20 exponential moving average, which is the yellow line on my charts. Otherwise, I'm really going to have to pack my patience. I don't want to be chasing this. KULR coming in aggressively here into my entry right at the $0.50. So we took out a lot of it into $0.75, and we were leaving the remaining piece at the half or at the whole dollar. But as I see this is the right opportunity to add here on KULR. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. The $0.50 has been money as a level of support. Have a look how many times we've been dipping into that $0.50 only to be met with buyers. So I'm going to keep my eye out on this one. I've just added at the $0.50, changes my cost average by 1 penny because I literally got in 1 penny higher than I did prior. And I'll look to do more on this one. We'll set up some beak wetters. Let's set up some at 61, whatever, kind of a random area, but maybe the top end of the consolidation. We get a print there. Fantastic. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Let's see what the dead one is doing. Yeah, we still haven't taken any more out here on Apple. I apologize for the wicks, the dark pool wicks there, but we're still whiffling, we're still waffling in the 259 mid-teens. I'm hanging out at the $0.25, and now I think I've been waiting for maybe 15 minutes or something now. I still haven't gotten the print of the $0.25, nor has it given up VWAP or 259. That may happen soon. Let's have a look at what AAPL is doing here on the 5. Are we still putting in higher lows and higher highs? That's kind of the question over here. So yeah, kind of. I mean, it's not the best looking pattern I've ever seen. We're above the 10 exponential moving average. I'd like to see this one at least hold the 10, if not on a wick basis, certainly on a closing basis. But again, my stop is already in place. It wants to break down below 80s. That's the end of it, because 80s, in my estimation, was a consolidation area top before we took VWAP at 1110. Have a look how many candles over here on the 5-minute from 10:30 till 11:05. We kept getting into 258, kind of mid 70s, low 80s, and then bouncing up off there. So Apple just touched the 10 exponential, a 2-candle red setup, looking for this one to move back to the top side over here. The future still above 22,000, and it continues to make higher highs and higher lows. And I don't know what's lifting up the future. Well, the NASDAQ specifically, it certainly is not these MEG. It's not the MEG, that's for certain. I mean, look at Meta. Meta's dead. Microsoft is flat. Google's breaking down below VWAP now. Amazon is dead, down on the day. Apple, we finished talking about that. Tesla's down 1 1/3. Nvidia's down 2/3. What's keeping the NASDAQ putting in higher highs and higher lows? It certainly ain't the MEG. It's got to be something else. So maybe we should be looking at some of these mid-cap stocks to see how they're affecting the MEG, because it's definitely, or the NQ, excuse me, because it certainly ain't the MEG right now. So that's what I'm looking at right now, looking at Apple and looking at KULR, as well as obviously GEVO. Where's my GEVO trade at? All right, so we're back above 2 here on GEVO, but yeah, we'll have to take 2 again. I don't mind adding into GEVO if we're able to get above 2, because we got into about 205. That's where we took it out, dipped below 2. So if we can reclaim 2 without issue, without shorts reinstituting their positions at 2, or people profit taking at 2 again, then I know that there's a better likelihood of us actually using 2 second time around to support. Otherwise, we'll use it as resistance, and I'll take it out through the bottom break there at 192. So keep an eye out on that, Joseph. Let's see what comes.
Yeah, for sure. Sharif, again, I just had to read up a little bit more on SoundHound, because I'm like, who is it? Who are these people, and what is this company? Because just putting in this absolute monster of a run, continuing to trade higher on the session as well too, is SoundHound. So breaking that all-time high on, or is that all-time highs? Yeah. So again, creating new all-time highs on SoundHound, trading around 2470 right, or 2420, sorry, right now, and just putting in an absolute monster day. Let's zoom in a bit and see what we're looking at from a 5-minute standpoint. Everybody in the chat's mentioning this thing, and it's continuing to trade higher and higher day in and day out. I need to start looking at this a little bit more, because for the past little while, we've been going over the highest volume stocks, and it's literally been NVDA, SoundHound, and then the rest of the pack. And sure enough, SoundHound trading with the most volume on the session around 75 million shares traded, with NVDA only about 58 million shares traded on the day. So I want to take a look at SoundHound. I'm not going to chase it all the way up here, but again, at some point, I need to start getting involved in this stock, especially with the sessions that it's been continuously putting in for the past month or so, all right? So good luck there on folks that have been trading SoundHound, looking really nice. Sharif mentioned, he's like, what is driving the Qs? What is driving the SPY? And so obviously I have to take a deeper look into that. So
like AVGO.
Yeah, it's like 3%. AVG. Is that what it is?
3%.
Like, yeah,
I mean,
it's the trillion. It's the trillion. Yeah. So when you get into the T club, as Brando likes to say, and you start putting in these sessions like that, you're gonna start moving the market, right? And sure enough, we're getting that in the Qs and in SPY as well too. Especially with kind of all these sectors being flat. Financial sector being the second largest sector within the SPY is flat and red it's up about 0.15% on the session. So just keep that in mind. AVGO putting in a monster, but obviously I wanted to take a look at some of my other favorite stocks as well too. So I was looking at Salesforce and CrowdStrike, but they're flat, and I don't think they can justify what the Qs in the SPY have been up to on this session. So yeah, really good look from Sharif there, looking at AVGO, part of the 10 companies that have $1 trillion market cap, looking really nice on AVGO's front. Guys, continue to let us know what you're looking at in the chat. AI drive-thrus, yeah, I mean, that's SoundHound, I think, because that's what they've been, they do that artificial voice stuff and looking for telehelp and everything along those lines, all right? So we've been holding on to this NVDA trade for quite some time now, consolidating in this range. We had the inability to break 139, which is positive for this stock thus far. Let's see if we can go and make that second leg higher. I don't know if we're going to go and test the high of day as of right now, but anything can happen. We do know that it's going to be a little bit lower of a volume, so I think one party will be able to take control of the session. It did look essentially bearish at the beginning, but we had a really deep pullback, and that 5-minute opening drive was extremely strong, so I thought there was going to be some continuation in NVDA, but that wasn't the case. Sure enough, we broke some key support levels and then are now bouncing off them around 138. 137.75 was the low of the day, and we haven't looked back since. So continuing to trade within that range, but I do think at some point we either break this consolidation phase to the top side or to the downside. As obvious as that may sound, but that is a good kind of benchmark that you can somewhat base a trade off of. And sure enough, I'm in it. If we do decide that we want to break 139, I'm going to get out. I punched out of KULR. Are you still in KULR?
I'm still in,
You're still in KULR?
It's still above VWAP.
Oh, okay. All right, nice. So yeah, Sharif's still in KULR. It's holding VWAP really nice right now as I look at it. But again, let's see which direction this stock decides it wants to break in this consolidation phase, because I do think if we do break the top side of this resistance, 140 is the next price target for NVDA, Sharif.
Yes, sir. Just throwing out my stop.
Yeah,
There we go. Good to go on that. Yeah, I did add into KULR on that dip. If it breaks that third of a dollar, we're gone on that. I'm keeping my eye on Givo here as it breaks into new highs again. Very disappointed I did not add on this one. I missed it. Again, I said if it got above 2 and held above 2, I'd be adding. I didn't have an order, nor was I watching it. So a bit of a mistake there. We're still holding a piece, but this one is kind of going without us. 205 was that level that we took it out last time. We're right back at that level again, the same size that I saw last time, posted on 2 different gateways. You can kind of see 221 and 221, 59 and 59, 45 and 45. You know that's either a market maker or an algo posting at that level. So we'll keep an eye out on that. And we'll see if buyers want to step in here. All right, guys, we're throwing you to Adara right now.
We're going to do here is take a look at what the market's done so far today in our Happening Now segment. The Qs here, basically the day's highs, virtually flat in the day, up about 0.06%, so just positive. S&P 500 only slightly better, basically the exact same kind of performance here, as we have a lot of mixed performance here from some of these Mag 7s. Lots of strength in names like Apple trying to break out, NVIDIA, as mentioned, trying to break and wrestling with that 140 after closing that level, above that level for the first time in over 20 days. But there's still some mixed sentiment. Tesla had a strong start, or was poised for a strong start, but then pushed lower. But these small caps continue to rule the day, specifically a lot of these retail names. GME had a really nice push off the open, though it's given up almost all of those gains, currently up about 3.82% today, but struggling significantly with that $33 level. Roaring Kitty posted a tweet that sent a lot of these small caps and related names soaring, including KULR. Sharif's been involved in this name, announcing that they had a $21 million investment here in Bitcoin, and they're working towards a Bitcoin treasury. So great look there. Then we have AAPL, Apple, another name I just realized Sharif's also involved in right now. Apple getting a positive note here from Dan Ives of Wedbush with a $325 price target. Seeing this Apple super cycle, we're expecting for the new iPhone to be a boon for AAPL. So lots of tickers to keep an eye on, be it the Mag 7 space, the small cap space. There's definitely something for you to trade today. And make sure if you're enjoying what you're seeing here every day that you like and subscribe. Back to the Bash Brothers.
Thank you, Adara. Appreciate that. All right. Yeah, we kind of got forced out of KULR here, Joseph, and I'm kind of really upset about that because, well, it's moving right back up. You love when your stop is bottom wick, Joseph. There's no better feeling. You know, you review your end of the trades and you look at that and it's bottom wick as you're out. Then it makes a new high after that. It makes me feel good. I don't know about you, but like, it's fantastic. Look.
It's a good feeling.
It's a very good feeling. Guys, Soundhound breaking into new highs again. This is going to take 25 or so, it seems right now. The rocket ship, a.k.a. SOUN, really squeezing. And I believe this one still has a bit of a bigger short flow, or at least last time I checked. Yes, at least 2 weeks old is this number 25 and a 5% of the 337.5 million share float is borrowed for short. So do your math, whatever shareage that comes to. And quite frankly, I don't know, man, where all these shorts are sitting, because we're all-time highs on SOUN. So I don't know how many shorts. That number's got to be dated because we are at all-time highs on SoundHound. We've never been this high. The previous high was back in May of 2022. We got into about $19. So where the hell are all these shorts sitting? I don't know. Obviously, we know that the short data is about 2 weeks old, give or take. So, you know, we could get a new updated number shortly. I don't know when exactly. That could show us something fundamentally lower. But SoundHound is on the way up. Every new tick now on SoundHound is a new all-time high. And I didn't know that. Hadn't charted it on the daily. In any event, right now it's moving up. It's moving up aggressively, and it behooves us to keep an eye on this one, given the larger short flow. So I'm all eyes here on SOUN. Even though I should have said I'm all ears.
You're all ears.
On the sound. That would have been right on the nose there, brother. So that's the look there. We're still involved in GEVO. Where did GEVO do? I think it popped in. It did. It got into a new high, 206. Is continuing to put higher highs and higher lows on GEVO. So I'll see if I want to add over here at $2. I lamented not having added last time. The current candle higher than the previous candle, so the trend is still intact, or that's kind of the way I see it there. So let's weasel on over to GEVO and get the old ad over here. So we'll take a bit of an ad on that one, keeping an eye on it. Apple still dilly-dallying here above the volume-weighted average price, not giving me an out and not, forcing me out either. No profit takers quite yet, since the ones we took out last time at 10s and 15s, but not pushing me out either. And it's also holding VWAP. Now, Apple's holding VWAP all the while the NQ continues to make newer highs and newer lows. So it's got us all guessing. I mean, I don't know if the Katina man is guessing or not, but what the hell is keeping this market up? And every time it seems to be the same answer, AVGO. It's a good look over here. AVGO just printed the high of the day at 247.09. What's going on over there?
So we got Palantir long, 81.70.
Katina man just took out Palantir long, 81.70. That one continues to move up and have a fantastic time there. PLTR always keeping an eye on new highs. Shout out to Matt C. STEM. Are you talking about a ticker or actual STEM? The science and math and stuff like that. STEM, no, 5%, 34 pennies. I don't typically trade these, Matt. M-Sense, Rigetti, dead or about to bounce again? Great question. Let's have a look at RGTI. So RGTI is coming into 14. This could be an interesting ad, my man. On Rigetti right here, because it's been putting in higher highs and higher lows. As you see, the deeper retracements have gone into the 20 exponential, and that is where we're at right now. $14 level, as well as a 20 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart intersecting at this level. This could be a good ad on Rigetti. And in addition to that whole spiel about 14 and the 20, look at this price action resistance from 1030. It goes into 14 and rejects. So keep your eye out on it. It's breaking down now below 14. So you'll have to keep an eye out on this one. Don't be jumping in too quickly. Let the price bounce. Get it on the back end, as Neil likes to say, which is essentially what it means is to prove to you, yes, I'm going to hold that level. The way that I do that is by getting in on the first 5-minute candle to make a new high on the 5-minute, okay? That's how I kind of use that. Do whatever you want, however your trading strategy allows. Apple back into 259.10s, but as I see it, the last little bit, 10s has been a resistance level. This is the 1 minute on Apple, but it helps see, localized areas of support and resistance. Reject at 10, reject at 10, reject at 10. So we need to take 10 here, obviously, to break into the $quarter. Keeping my eye, Joseph, on Apple.
Nice, good stuff there, my brother. So I posted up here, no Joe Malone or whoever is a big poster guy there on NVDA to see if we can catch something just below 140. That momentum is starting to kick in a little bit. I do like to see this from a volume by time profile, that big volume signature kicking in as we break those key resistance levels. So that can be a little confirmation on my front to see, are we going to continue on that northeast path that we are currently on? Are we going to go and test the high day eventually today? I don't know. Only time will tell. As of right now, NVDA is trading half decently, breaking through those key resistance levels. So let's continue to focus and monitor things that are strong. And something that is absolutely strong today is PLTR. This thing is on an absolute monster run. There's no questioning that. We broke through some key resistance levels, but a really weak opening 5-minute drive. I'll always monitor these 5-minute drives. So for the 5-minute orb players, traders, sure enough, you got a little bit of a move, but then it kind of just chopped around in this area and then decided that, hey, we want to continue to move higher. And sure enough, PLTR, being on this monster run, Alex Karp and company, just absolutely killing it day in and day out. And there's only insider selling, as Sharif was telling me. No one's really buying just yet because that stock has appreciated significantly over the past couple of months. There's no questioning what it's been doing. And sure enough, we're breaking some of these highs. A really big engulfing candle here. I mentioned before, wow, look at this tweezer. I don't think I've ever seen this. So this was Friday session, and then that was just that big engulfing candle that we had when it felt like it was an extreme. And sure enough, we broke it to the downside, but we had the inability to hold that. So I'm always going to keep an eye on the correlation between volume and price. And at this point right now, we're blown through that. So I think there's going to be some more topside to PLTR in the coming days. One thing I will keep an eye on here, though, Sharif, is this little inverted hammer candle right now. I'm not going to hold too much context on this one here, right, as of right now, just because of the strength that we've seen in this thing. But if we break this to the top side, then sure enough, I think there's going to be more northeast trajectory on this thing here. So PLTR, just an absolute monster. I remember I was looking at this thing at 17 bucks and being like, should I buy this thing? And then trading it from an intraday perspective was just an absolute nightmare as well, too, sometimes when it was trading around in this consolidation zone around these teens, and then it breaks and then doesn't even look back. So unfortunate ride. I know Katina Man's in this thing for the long term. Congratulations to him, because the appreciation in this stock over the past couple of months has been absolutely phenomenal. One of the best performing stocks in the market overall thus far, I think, this year, Sharif.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's insane.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's insane.
Up like 300, almost 400% at that point. So.
And they're doing a bunch of stuff right now. They're not sitting on their laurels. They're not, counting their dollars. They're doing big things right now. So I read a really interesting article. Everybody knows Joe Lonsdale. If you don't, he's a character you should know if you're involved in the market. He's a partner in these companies right here. So Palantir, he's obviously one of the founders, but he's also involved in this company, Anduril, another defense name, and they're in talks with SpaceX and OpenAI to form a consortium targeting U.S. government contracts. Essentially, this consortium wants to be the new gen of defense contractors, right? Like, I kind of waxed poetic about this a couple of weeks ago, about how, U.S. military prowess, especially with, the onset of these hypersonic missiles, may not be as dominant as it once was. You guys chimed in about lasers. I did my research on lasers. Looks like it's a completely nascent technology, not even deployed en masse, whereas we're seeing these hypersonic missiles land. I'm not going to get into that, but they're landing, all right? Now, the point is to get the U.S., I don't want to say this, obviously they're in the 21st century, but figuratively, to get them really advanced, it looks like these companies want to create a new consortium, taking out some of the old players, some of the old defense contractors that we already know about, that we've been knowing about for years. So Palantir, man, they could still be going higher. And you may be like, well, valuations don't jive. I mean, forward PE's wild, PE's wild. Sure, currently. But I don't know, man. When you're doing business with SpaceX, you're doing business with OpenAI and some others, it might be a good look for you. So I'm not involved in the name. I've never been involved in Palantir on swing, long-term or otherwise, but it seems to me like a very interesting story that I want to definitely keep my ear to. True to freaking form, we go all the way up over here, Joseph, into the dang $0.25 in Apple. I don't get the fill again. That's quite frustrating. But kind of keeping me positive is the umpteen amount of times we keep bouncing off VWAP and not giving up the ghost. A range has been established right now on Apple north of VWAP. It's about, let's see what kind of a range we got over here. 258.80s to about 259.20. So we got a 40 penny range established on AAPL. Really unable to take out that range since the opening drive. So I've got my beak wetters, my profit takers that is north of that range. I will not be taking any out there. The futures continues to print new highs. We're above now 22,000. We're positive on the day on the NQ. So good look. You're not getting much participation from the mag. Maybe Apple, Nvidia now looking to go green. Great move off the bottom for NVDA. Back above 140. It can go green if it breaks through that fifth of a dollar, quarter dollar. That's Greensville. That's where we closed it on Tuesday on the shortened day. So that's what I'm looking at right now. I'm keeping my eye on these small cap gappers that I got involved with. I'm keeping my eye on Apple. GameStop just broke out. Here we go. GME. It just took out the middle there, Fabian. 32.90 on GME. Got a nice bid there, supported by volume, Joseph.
Oh,
about almost 400,000 shares on this 1 5-minute candle, taking out 33s. We know that the high of the day is 34 1/3. That was a quick bump and drop right in the opening range there. So GameStop above VWAP and also above this area crest, which was a breach of VWAP and a failed breach of VWAP, might I add. We're above it right now. Let's see if we can stay above 33.
Yeah, really good look there on GME, Sharif. I love that you pointed that out because I like that volume stepping in on the 5-minute and as well on the 1-minute. Well, obviously on the 1-minute. So really nice engulfing candle. Am I frozen or did it? Yeah, I'm frozen. I thought we halted.
Yeah, I can take over, brother. No worries, no worries.
You.
All right, guys, here's AAPL. Back into that quarter dollar again. I'm waiting at 25s, but I don't think we're going to get the break of 25 unless we get a volume squeeze. This is a bit of an established range. We have the bid still hanging out at 21s, so we'll see if we can cross. Last time we got into 24s, we did not cross, so a bit of a tougher look there. SoundHound. All right, so for everyone worried they had missed their opportunity on Sound, we are about $1 off the top right now at the 10 exponential moving average. It's been a 3-candle hold up at the 10, no breaching it, nor really kind of holding it, somewhere in between. We are, though, below the whole dollar at 24s. Now, I think SoundHound's been so directional, it behooves us to actually wait for a level to come in and then to print new highs, because I don't want to guess where the bottom is here on SOU, because it was just so strong. You got to assume it gets a bit of a deeper pullback. At least that's my assumption. $23.78 right now with a couple of bottoming tail candles there, so we'll keep an eye out on that. Good look for Sound. I'm back. I added into Givo, as I said I would. Oh, baby, there we go. Now we got the top break on Apple. So we're doing here real well on AAPL as we got that range break between 25s. We weaseled all the way up to 33s. Have resting orders, people, because sometimes the price action doesn't hang out in that level for all that long. So quite happy that I did exercise good patience here on the dead one Apple. Let's see if we can get some more out through the break of 33s, but true to form, it's such a rangy day. It prints 33s and then right back down into the teens we go. So I'm gonna wait at 42s for the next out over here on AAPL. Wow, look how aggressively it just came down, crazy. Anyway, leave that one to cook. Still didn't get the print though, sadly, on Givo. Now we get the print, bang. So we added to this one on the break and hold of 2. So originally in Givo at 192, scalp some more. It dips below 2, reclaims 2. I added to the position again. So GEVO up 37%, consistently higher highs and higher lows. Not the biggest mover on the day, but a predictable name to be able to enter. So keeping my eye out on there. Elon, Sharif, Joe, just longed KULR at 4 1/5, 4 1/4. Let's have a look. That was one I was involved in with my man. Look, you know my rules, Elon, for these small cap gappers, and I promise you I won't be breaching them today. The price action has to be above the volume weighted average price. If it isn't, I'm not going to enter long. Now, I've made caveats or exceptions with that in the past, saying, you know, I can take it as a range trade below VWAP. I won't be doing that today either. Okay, so it's going to have to either get above that 4 1/3, 435, where VWAP is on my chart, or I'm not trading it. Simple as that. Let me know how it goes. I hope you print up a storm, obviously, despite the fact that I won't be joining you in on that name, at least not yet. GameStop coming back in now to VWAP. Do we hold VWAP this time? We didn't hold it over here at the 10:55, 11 o'clock break of the volume weighted average price. We made, though, a higher low. So we didn't go all the way back down into that 31.60, which was the low. No, we ended up having a bit of a higher trough. In fact, we actually defended $32 there on GameStop. So maybe we're just doing a higher low, higher high situation, kind of like an upward channel right here. And if that is the case, then the money prints, in my humble estimation, will be around 32.40, 32.30, right? Because then if you're going to shadow this lower end of the trend line, that's the money fill. We're rejecting off 33s. Let's see, number one, does it hold at the $0.75? That's VWAP. If it doesn't, then I'm probably going to have an order waiting at around 32 1/3. I want to participate in GameStop today. We participated several times this week. So GME in focus as the Catman was taken to X yesterday, and he was tweeting a picture of a present. Don't know what the hell that means. Don't really care. It's in play, and that's all I care about, Joseph. Let me know if you're ready.
Yeah, one sec. Give me one second there, brother.
Shout out to Ahmad Alwala. There we go. 17.99 dirhams. Oklo is my star today. Say less. Let's have a look at OKLO.
We're ready to rock and roll there, brother.
Okay,
If you want to take a breather
real quick, and then we're going to throw it over you. So OKLO, fantastic look on the day. It's up 3%. Predictable levels, Ahmed, right over here, that 24 1/5, which is price action support, previously resistance, as well as the volume weighted average price. I like when those two levels conflate. When you have the price action resistance and you have a VWAP or whatever other moving average you're using at the same level, it's a good look right now. I personally would be entering in here and then putting my stop below the volume weighted average price. It would have to hold VWAP for me to stay interested. So let's look at Apple over here. We still didn't get any prints north of that 40 penny area. I've been waiting. We're whiffling. We're waffling at the $0.05. Let's see if we can get something a little bit higher, Joseph. AAPL. Moving to the high side.
Beautiful, good stuff there, brother. Thank you. Well, I had to restart the systems there real quick. But guys, hey, listen, we got those. Oh, okay, so we're done. I think it's time. We're about 20 minutes late to put up the Playmaker poll of the day. So if we can get that done, long, short, SPY, maybe we'll throw that up here because we know at 1 o'clock we're going to look to enter that trade there, folks. So we'll get that poll up there momentarily. There's no doubt about that. And guys, I go over religiously how many times how well we're doing on this this idea that we've generated as a collective unit. So I like this a lot. We're positive on it. The equity curve looks really good. And yeah, I'm having fun with this. And hopefully you guys are as well too. So this is after 12 trades, guys. And sure enough, that even though we have some ebbs and flows within this market, that's totally fine. But look at the northeast trajectory on this, guys. So and what one key metric I really want to emphasize on is look at the time ins and kind of the timeout. So we're kind of keeping those metrics identical, all right? Within a couple of minutes, minute variance there. But again, some of the outs, 155, that's what we're looking for, and then 2 o'clock one time. But again, this one, when we hit that, we got stopped out pretty quick there. So we were only in that trade for about 12 minutes. And then the positive trade, we're only in for about 36 minutes. So yeah, really good stuff there. I know Ramin's working on some things for it as well too in the back. So we're gonna get that for you guys, make it more a little interactive or something along those lines. But now I post Malone here on NVDA, and sure enough, we got that fill around 140.20s. Really nice. We are now pulling back with the rest of the market. I have to pull up some of my charts. I had to restart the computer, so that will take a second. But other than that, guys, let's continue to focus on things that are moving, and GME is moving right now, and so is PLTR. PLTR was making new highs, so let's pull up PLTR one more time here for the people. And yeah, sure enough, we did make a new high a day on PLTR, now kind of pulling back, which actually, no, it's not. Yeah, it is. Okay, so yeah, new high day on PLTR, just touching it. Those pre-market levels we are now rejecting off of, so around that 83.50 level, which is totally fine. A nice, really strong move we almost double bottomed here, forming those higher lows, and then broke that resistance level around 82.60, continuing to the top side. Didn't put in a red candle for almost about a half an hour on the 5-minute chart, and then now starting to pull back a little bit. So totally justifiable. We're not going to get too worried about that. And one thing that you can note is that this volume, I don't want to say it's dwindling or anything along those lines. It is steady. But on the higher time frames, we are slowly dwindling on these pullbacks. So that's extremely positive for PLTR, especially for the rest of the session, right? If we decide that we want to trend for the rest of the day, those pullbacks on low volume are really key signals, because when price starts to turn around, this can give you a signal, say, hey, I'm ready to enter this trade. Let's see where we can go from this point. Is this pullback exhausted? And then we're ready to take that second leg higher. Those are key metrics that I'm always looking out for. Now, GME, we had that breakout volume Sharif pointed out, but now we are pulling back a little bit more than what I would like on GME, all right? So we had that breakup volume, and you can say, hey, Joe, but the 5-minute volume is dwindling on it. It is, but we're pulling back slightly deeper than what I would like. I am going to wait for this thing to turn around at some point, and if it decides it wants to, all right? So you can see this really nice run on the 1-minute chart from that bottoming signal all the way to the top here, putting in that really big engulfing candle here on the 1 minute, that volume signature, an outlier to the rest of the prints on the session. So let's see if this momentum to the top side can be sustained. We are trading up about 4.8, 4.7% from a tweet from the Roaring Kitty, a present. And that's all this thing needs, is a tweet of a present on Christmas Day in order for, or an X, I guess we should call it. It's not Twitter anymore, but in order for this thing to continue to move higher. I seen somebody in the chat say $100 on GME in like the coming months. I don't know about that, but only time will tell, all right? So there's no reason to say that it won't, and there's no reason to say that it will as of right now. A tweet, I think he's gonna have to come up with something very significant on the X front in order for this thing to kind of get back to those levels. But as of right now, GME is looking like it wants to turn around a bit, putting in, oh wow, monster run here. Sharif, this thing is awfully volatile, so I'm gonna look to get involved just a little bit here. Right at volume, you're in at VWAP as well too.
In right now.
Oh, same price. Look at that. We got it at the same price. Yeah. So there we go. Let's see what happens here with GME. Let's see if we can go and break this pivot level here. After that engulfing volume signature, I would like to see this thing go and potentially test that $34 price target. But again, if we break that $32.50 level, I'm gonzo. I'm at a dodge on this one. I'm not going to try to chase this GME long or anything along those lines whatsoever. We do know that this thing can get memey. I'm going to stick to the thesis that, hey, we're trending today. We are breaking above some key resistance levels on the daily, Sharif. I don't know if you've seen that from a daily perspective.
Yeah, man.
But again, 31.75. We're sitting on top of that resistance now. So pretty good look there on GME, my friend.
Just 1 second.
Yeah. Do your thing. Put your orders in.
Next millionth dark pool candle on Apple on the day. So I just have to fix that one as well.
That tends to happen with the mega caps. You get those dark pool wicks, and then you got to edit them yourself. So it can get under your skin a little bit. There's no doubt, especially on the SPY and the Qs. It happens, and it's like, oh man, I don't want to continue to edit it, but you have to. But yeah, brother, what do you got cooking up?
All right, so I've layered my orders on GME, Joseph. So I added on 80, I added at 70, and I'm keep waiting at 60. So this one is going to have to hold up above 50 pennies for me to stay interested. So I've layered my orders. We got the 80 fill, we got the 70 fill, and now I've set up my profit takers as well. If I'm going to set up my dip trades, it behooves me to set up my profit taker. So I'm going to front run the $33 level for the first profit taker, and then maybe we'll set up another profit taker north of 33.05. That is the local high. It's not the daily high, but it is certainly the local high, 33.06 GameStop. Incrementally higher lows and higher highs. If you're basing it on the area low, which is 31.60, the next another area low was at 11.50, and 11.55 on the 5-minute chart, and that got into 32. It held 32 there. So what I do like is the incrementally higher highs and higher lows. It's not parabolic like it's been in the past. In fact, I would submit to you that the spread has been a bit wider today on GameStop, about a 10-penny spread when I got in, a little bit tighter right now, down to 3 pennies. So we'll see if that ends up being the case. So keeping my eye on GME. Now I'm also keeping my eye on GEVO, because this one really got going, got into 210s. We're long. With the new addition, we're long 02s. I'm not interested in taking it out here. I want to see if this is going to continue to put in that higher high, higher low type situation. This is kind of what I'm seeing, area trough. You guys get it? Every time we're about a little bit higher than we were last time. So packing my patience with GEVO to see if we can continue to move up. Apple coming right back down. So that's why we took out some profits there. Have your orders ready. It comes back down, holding the 10 exponential, and obviously holding 259. By extension of that, of course, it's not close to VWAP, not yet anyway. 258.86 is where VWAP is. The reason I'm involved in Apple, it's above VWAP. It's positive on the day. It has a catalyst, and it's putting in higher lows. Not necessarily, though, higher highs. And, even when I look at the higher lows, they're quite anemic. But, sometimes when we are in the middle of the day like this, the fact that we're above VWAP could foreshadow something into the close. And, based upon how the market on open orders acted today at 9:30 and how they acted on Tuesday into the close, maybe we get an aggressive market on close order in the same fashion. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. This is the market on close order on the shortened Tuesday. It was aggressive. It was quite aggressive. We were trading at 257.06, and by the time the mock orders were closed, it was 258.37. Kind of the same look this morning. Waffling at 257.72. We made all-time highs at 260.10. So the market on open, the market on close orders have been money for Apple as of late. That is a trade that we used to do here on the floor, these MOOs, well, not MOOs, but MOCs, certainly market on close orders. Apple, definitely an interesting one to keep an eye out on there as it comes back into that $259 area, AAPL, the future. As well, taking a bit of a downturn, a 2-candle red position right now on the 5 on the NQ March contract. We make a new intraday high, 22,075. Right back down we go into Tuesday's closing print, 22,028. Looks like we may be holding on to that level. So we'll keep an eye here on the future. The future's also been awfully directional with higher lows and higher highs. It hasn't been zigging and zagging like it sometimes does. We'll see if this one wants to hold up right now. So that's what I'm involved in right now. GEVO, we're involved in GameStop at 77s. And we're involved in AAPL. GameStop still above the volume weighted average price, but we did not get any fills yet in the mid-90s. We'll have to see if that one is forthcoming or not, Joseph. So we'll pack our patience. GameStop.
Yeah, that's all you can do with GameStop, I think, at this point. Let's see if we can hold volume weighted average price. Streep and I are in it at essentially the same price. We got a little bit better of an average now than me. But I mean, who is it in the RC? It's not that I don't want to. I just want people to know is that the scenario that happened with the first GameStop is that I'm pretty sure what people were telling me is that it had a short flow. There's essentially more shares short than being able to be issued. So that when you have a short float so high and then you get that squeeze action, that's why GME went to those insanely high levels for essentially, I don't want to say no reason, but that short squeeze is what caused it to get to those levels. We just don't have the same short flow. And then also ask yourself, do you think that institutions are going to allow themselves to lose that type of money again? Wall Street is too smart, in my opinion. I mean, it's fun trading it, especially when Roaring Kitty tweets and does his X's or whatever he may be doing, and he does his live streams on YouTube. That stuff's all fun and games, but the same metrics aren't adding up to what that initial squeeze was, right? So just keep that in mind. I'm not saying that it can't ever go to those prices again. It's just there's not all those things that added up in order for it to put in that crazy squeeze and that meme craze that kind of started this whole thing kind of put together, right? So just keep that in mind. And I'm not trying to damper on anybody's parade or anything, but you just got to look at it from a legitimate perspective and say, hey, is everything adding up or is it not how it was before? And I don't think it market is. I don't think the street will allow itself to lose that type of money again. So that's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong. There's no doubt about that.
Gotta go to Adair.
Oh, okay, Adair. Yeah, sorry, I'm not had to restart. So yeah, sorry guys, we're gonna send it off to Adair quick.
Take a look here at these small caps. There are so many to talk about, so I could not mention everyone, but I'll mention some of the ones that I'm seeing moving on my scanners here. Russell 2000 to start with the IWM. We mentioned this one earlier, bouncing just below that 220 level going back to Monday. So continuing to see that strength. High of day here, just above 225 as of right now, trying to hold on to mid 224s, up about a 2/3% here, about 0.6%. So stronger than the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. Sharif and I were talking about this off camera as well. Small cap strength really continuing to rule the market. It is small cap season. And the Roaring Kitty tweet, as mentioned just now, probably helped that as well. A lot of these retail faves are back in focus. AIRE on watch here. This one up over about 186%. This one has run in the past. Float of 7.84 million shares. Market cap of 185.26 million. No catalyst on this one. We do have a catalyst, though, for the other two we're going to mention. Castellum, that is CTM as the ticker, up about 100% at day's highs. Market cap of 65 million, float of 65.6 million, and a short float of 2.2%. Actually, this looks like a bit of a rebound. We traded lower on Monday. The company announced a $3.6 million direct offering. So that ends. We push to the upside. Last but not least, we have OMEX. This one just got a catalyst coming in, as you can see here, looks like about 10 minutes ago, I believe. OMEX up about 24%, giving up a lot of that initial move here. Market cap of 10 million, float of 15.5 million, and a short float of 8.12 million. Announcing this joint venture with Caplat with regards to advancing strategic fertilizer projects in Mexico. So OMEX, the newest addition here, Odyssey Marine Exploration, to the small cap runners, guys. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adara. All right, guys, I got into Rumble because it's at the volume-weighted average price, so I took a bit of a dip trade. I'm long 98s. I'm 3 pennies out of the money right now. It's going to have to hold above 80s. I've already set my stop, so if it breaches VWAP decisively, I'm gone. Now, if it wants to reset up, breaches VWAP, and then sets up properly by reclaiming it, I'm all ears to get back in with Rumble. So we'll see if it wants to hold up at this level or what the situation is, but it was a 1, 2, 3, almost a 6 candle. There was one doji candle in there. So 6 candle drop on the 5-minute chart on RUM. So in a bit of an aggressive retracement off that 1738 high of the day. And now we're in the high 80s, low 90s. Let's keep an eye out on this one. GameStop, I mean, it goes all the way up in the 90s. I'm waiting at 92s and it doesn't fill. So it's a little frustrating there. Now coming down into mid 70s, but it doesn't change my plan at all. The plan is the same. The plan is to look for the higher lows and higher highs, whether that's forthcoming or not. But let's set up a trade at 60s because I did take that one off by accident. So we're going to sit at 61s. No, there we go. So we'll go 32, 61, and then we'll sit there to front run that size. That was the area trough earlier. So if it wants to hold up there, all the better. Yes, okay, so RUM coming back into 16 right now. And let's see if 16, since we broke down below 16, whether it acts as resistance here. It certainly didn't look like it acted as much support, to be quite honest with you. So let's see if it acts as resistance at this level. And I'm still waiting in the mid-teens here, 16 mid-teens to get the print there. Rigetti. This was a miss by me. Wow, I tried. I really did try. I tried to get it on 14 for it to hold 14. It broke down all the way into 13 3/4. That wasn't the move that I was looking for. I was looking for it to hold the whole dollar. Sucks to be me because it's right back up and it wants to take $15 up over 30%, looking to go 31% here on RGTI. Fantastic look today. And then Apple, right back into that third of a dollar, but I'm not going to take out any here. I already took some out here. Now we're waiting north of 40s. And if I don't get the print north of 40s, fine. Then I don't get the print. Quite simple. So we're going to continue to wait here on the dead one Apple, see if this one wants to ascend to the high side. Very pleased with how things have been going today. Despite the fact that the continuity has been lacking a little bit. So I've been really trying to time my entries. A lot easier said than done, believe me. So keeping an eye on that. There we go with Rumble. We take it out there, Joseph. Now we're going to set up a little bit higher over here. So we took it out mid-teens on RUM. I'm going to set up, let's see. We're going to set up at the third of $1 over here on RUM. So we're at printed 22s right now. If we can cross 33s, we'll get the print. But, you know, it's about a 2-penny spread, so it's going to have to cross 33s the north side. Back to GameStop over here. What's this one doing? Dillying. It's dallying right at that 32.70, but it's okay because it's still technically putting in some higher highs and higher lows. We're in the middle of the range right now. Here's what I'm seeing on the 5. GameStop. This is kind of an upward channel, and if you extend out these lines, we're kind of in the middle. We're in no man's land, in the middle of the range, which is fine with me. That's why we set up a dip trade on 6. If it breaks 5, though, that's got 50, excuse me, I'm gone. And then if it wants to hold up again, then we'll get back into it at that time. But I will be managing risk into the $0.50, assuming, you know, we definitely get the fill there. KULR, shout out to Elon. Elon was looking at KULR at 410s, and I said I wouldn't touch this unless it took VWAP on a decisive basis. Well, guess what, Elon? It's back above the volume-weighted average dang price, but I need to see it on a closing basis. One measly candle above VWAP ain't going to get me into this trade. I need to see a little bit more. If it holds up above it, we will be absolutely participating in KULR. Just got to hold up. All right, we got the fill here on GameStop at 60s. Now, come what may, we break down below 50. It's going to be the end of the trade there. Let's see how everything else is doing. Apple is still dilly-dallying over here at the third of $1. Nothing printed in the 40s. Gevo, coming back into $2. Definitely got to keep my eye here on Gevo as we were trying to, you know, take this one to the north side. 210 is the high of the day. How many outs do I have left on Gevo? Oh, that's fine. Yeah, so I only have one more out here, so I can let this one come against me a little bit. That's fine. How are we doing with, here comes rum. I'm waiting for that third of $1 print. 29's printing over here. Can we get a little bit higher? Can we get, do you know that song by Kanye?
Higher,
can we get much higher? So high. Oh, oh, oh. Oh.
Graduation was, I think, one of the best albums, yeah.
All right, Joseph, here we go. We're going to take it out there. Bang! We take it out through the third of $1. Guys, I took out two outs. That's why. I'm an idiot. We're going to get back in.
You were too excited, man.
No, because I had an order sitting there, hit the escape button, but I guess I have to hit it more than once. In any event, we're going to get right back into, what's it called? RUM. We're going to take it through the highs. Joseph, what are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm just sitting here in NVD. I added on this position as price slowly started to turn around on this pullback. We came back a little bit deeper, so that's totally fine. You guys can see my average on it right now. We breached that. That's fine. We're going to get out of the position and then reassess what we're going to do from there. Now, GME starting to trade as well. Kind of not in our favor, but we are holding these key support levels around 32.60. So let's see if we can break that, get a little more squeeze action on GME, and then maybe go and hit that price target of a 33 flat. I'm going to take the majority of the position on GME off at 33s. I don't want to be in this thing for too long unless it is going parabolic, and that is not the case today, all right? So just keep that in mind. We're going to continue to look at GME. Jam Lawson, why are your ears bleeding? Please let us know. And then, yeah, guys, we got the Playmaker poll up. 137 votes. You already know which way it's going on that front. I voted the polar opposite today. Well, not polar, but I went short on the SPY, Sharif. I don't know what you went, but again, I think we have some potential topping signals. We had a really good run for the majority of the session. Now starting to pull back a little bit here. Totally fine, totally justifiable. Let's continue to assess. Am I going to be wrong for going short? Hopefully, considering that the primary trend is to the top side. I'm hoping that we can continue on that path because we have 157 votes and the majority of them, close to 80%, say, hey, they think that SPY is going to go continuously long come 1 o'clock. We're a little bit short on time. I kind of want to keep this data as finite as we possibly can. I want to stick to the same metrics as well, too. So I think we're going to close this one just a little bit after 1 o'clock. So let's try to get those votes in, folks, because then we have that second poll for the afternoon rundown as well, too, going to step in. So let's get those votes in. Let's decide which direction we are going to log our next data entry and take it from there, okay? So, yeah, guys, continuing to hold in GME. If we have the inability to break this 32.90 level, then I think I'm going to get out because then that means we're just forming lower highs, all right? from my opinion and from my technical analysis. So as you can see, we have on that second run up, we had the inability to break that pivot level. And then sure enough, we formed a lower high. And then now as we go to continue to trade slightly higher, we're really struggling to go and press this high, this previous pivot high. So I'm going to look for that to break. And if it does decide to break, then maybe this potential double bottom will come into play, breaking this key resistance pivot level. And then at that point, I think we can go and test 33 and then go and test that pivot, this secondary pivot high as well too. So keep that in mind. Someone mentioned Tesla in the chat. I want to talk about a little bit about Tesla as well too, because we're running into some key support systems as well on Tesla, all right? So we're going to continue to watch what Tesla's going to be up to. We have those lower highs forming that a descending wedge, whatever you would like to call it, as they pointed out, and I couldn't agree more thus far, all right? So let's zoom out a little bit on Tesla and take a look at it from a daily perspective. We know that Tuesday was absolutely fantastic for Tesla, putting in an absolute monster day, trading from a low of 435 roughly to a high of about 464. All right, so that is a really nice move. Now pulling back, totally justifiable on Tesla. One key metric that I'm going to point out, guys, is these pivots at highs and lows. I'm always keeping an eye on these prints, and sure enough, we're going to go and test that, I think, eventually soon. So if this is just a breath candle, totally cool. I like this. You guys know I'm bullish on Tesla for the foreseeable future. Let's see what happens in the coming days. If we open up around 452 tomorrow or someone within this range, I think that momentum can step in and volume can step in on Tesla, and then maybe we go and test that 480 level by the end of the week, Sharif. I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, man, I agree with that.
Yeah, cool.
All right, GameStop, we took some out there on after the dip trade at 60. We took out some at 80. I'm still going to keep my order exactly where it is, above that area crest that we rejected at last time. Looks like it was 90. We're putting in a nice little move. Now, my concern is that we technically made a newer area low if you're looking at the 1. So last time on the trough, we held up at 61. This time we dipped into 59. I don't want to put too much stock into that, but that is something that I'm observing right now on GME. So we take a bit of a beak wetter there, nicely in the money. Okay, let's see now. We're printing 85s. Let's see if we can work our way up. So keeping my eye on GME. Apple still in that range. Nothing's changed. I didn't get the print at 40, so packing my patience there. One more penny here on GEVO and I'm gone if it breaks 98s. Reason I'm looking at 98s, well, it's an area low right there. So if we break that area low, that's fine. I no longer want to participate in it for the moment. I'm doing quite well on RUM. I'm really happy with what I did here. I fat fingered by accident, took out too much, got right back in, took some more out. Now I'm waiting in the mid 60s. Here we go. 50s coming in again here on RUM. It looks like there's some selling though at that level. Anything below 30 pennies or 20 pennies and I'm gone. It's going to have to continue moving its higher high and higher low situation. Now looking at 40s. RUM Rumble up 29.5% on the day. Good look for them. What else we got? There's a whole bunch of other stuff moving, guys. I mean, it's not just the ones I'm involved in. There's a lot of stuff moving. SOUN headed right back up. So many bottoming tail candles south of 24. You could feel that buyers were definitely buying this at the $0.75. And here we go, taking out 24s, taking out local highs there above that 24.05. Definitely not as parabolic as it was. 24.70 is the high of the day, but it's putting in higher lows on SOUN. So SOUN certainly back in play. KULR is trying to stay above the volume weighted average price. It's having trouble. It's not as directional as it was before. We'll keep an eye out on that. QSI continues to do really well. I haven't said anything about that. It's about $1.80, $1.82. It's up, what is it up? 40.77% on the day. EOSE as well, very directional to the high side, printing highs at 5.25. Haven't been trading that one either. Doesn't mean it's not in play. Keep your eye on those two. What else? So we got GME. Yeah, we already talked about that. Apple coming back down into 259 as the future. The future is breaking down now, guys. We could definitely get a move back down here. So looks like we might be coming into 22,000. We're breaking this area low. This was a 20-minute holdup at the same level at 22,025. We just broke below that now. So the Mag 7 could be on their way down. Apple at 259. I'm waiting at 259.40s. Excuse me. So I'm going to keep my eye out on Apple. Anything below that volume-weighted average price, and I'm done. Meta's breaking down, though. The future is breaking down. Meta's breaking down. Here we go. Apple's coming down as well. I'm going to end my trade here on Apple, and if it wants to come back up afterwards, we can take it out, break even over here for the last remaining amount. AAPL and the futures coming back down aggressively. Bit of a tougher look there. Let's have a look at what GameStop's doing. GameStop, it's dropping as well into 60s. Anything below 50s, I'm done there. So we'll keep an eye out on those two, Joseph. That's what I'm involved in right now. Givo, GameStop, and Rumble.
Beautiful look there, my friend. Guys, I want to point something out, and I'm really frustrated at myself for not taking advantage of this earlier, especially because I seen that kind of topping tail candle. But I emphasize on this day after day. This is what I am looking for. Look at this inverted hammer here on the Qs. Yeah, on the Qs. And then look at the volume signature supporting that, all right? So that's an anomaly. Why are we all the way up here? We had essentially one stock dragging the whole market up, and then sure enough, you get that stopping volume in with that reversal candle. So if anybody had the ability to take advantage of that, congratulations to you. I'm kicking myself because I didn't look deeper into that signal. I seen the print, and I'm like, all right, we're strong. I'm ignoring it. I'm going to go on to something else. And sure enough, look at what is happening in the market, especially on that. It is absolutely tanking. There is no doubt. But folks, it is time to pay some bills on that front. Trade the pool. This Christmas, Trade the Pool has the ultimate gift for traders. Here's the deal, folks. Buy an 80K, 100K, or 200K, 260K buying power evaluation, and we'll give you a free 20K buying power evaluation. Yes, free. But that's not all. Both plans have 7 extra days to hit your profit targets. That's more time, more buying power, and more opportunities to trade. This exclusive offer ends on January 1st. It's the perfect way to kickstart your trading journey into the new year, folks. So there you go. You get more buying power, more time, and more Trade the Pool there, folks. So really good luck there. And let's get back into this Q's technical talk real quick. And I just want to point this out one more time. And look at the volatility start to step in here in the market, all right? So just keep that in mind. Look at that volume signature, absolutely phenomenal. I hope someone had the ability to take advantage of that. If you have, let me know in the chat. I'd be more than glad to hear about that. And also, 350 votes, guys. I'm not satisfied. We only have 10 minutes left. 3,900 people watching. Let's get those votes in. Let's see which way we can bring this trade. All right, so get those votes in. 1,000 votes in 10 minutes. That would be an absolute record. I have faith in everybody, and I'm sure Sharif does too, my guy.
Yes, sir. All right, we're long Apple again. On the dip trade, just took a bit of a beak wetter. This one dipped below VWAP as the future came in at 22,000, breached 22,000, and caught a bit of a bid off the volume-weighted average price. So we take a bit of a scalp trade there. Let's see if this one holds. If it doesn't, I'm just going to take it out below my entry. Simple as that. That's the beautiful part of getting bottom wick. You have something off which to base the entry. So, I mean, usually I don't base my exits on my entry. I base them on price action, support, and resistance. But the future is in a full state of flush. So if it comes back down below my entry at 64s, well, then we're gonzino there. Let's see if Apple wants to hold up above 64s. Keeping my eye out on GameStop. It's awfully close to my stop out. Anything below 50, I'm done there. What else we got over here? There was this one. Wow, Rum continuing to basically just hang out at my exit. I'm waiting at 64s. It came into 60. It's at 63s. It's not forthcoming to the high side. I don't know why it's not crossing. It's a bit of a 5-penny spread. Maybe that's why it's not crossing. So packing my patience into that. So look, keeping an eye here on Rumble, keeping an eye out on Apple as it dips again into that 258.70s area. We're long at 64s off this dip trade. Again, anything below that, I am done. The future is at VWAP and below 22,000. The future is now negative on the day, down 1/5 of a percent, 0.2. We'll have to see if it can get bounced back up off these levels. But I got to tell you, a lot of weakness right now in the Mag 7. Nobody's spared right now. Meta at lows. Amazon, well, not exactly at lows, but it's definitely negative on the day. Microsoft broke below VWAP. Google below VWAP. Tesla below VWAP. The only one really above VWAP right now is NVIDIA, trying to bounce up that 139.25. There seems to be some buying in and around there. Apple right back into mid-80s. So we'll let this one cook. We're long 64s. Let's see if this one wants to reclaim the 59 penny level. The $59 level, $2.59. So we'll see exactly what we get there. GameStop still at the $0.50, packing my patience. Rumble not getting the print. There we get the print on RUM. That'll be done. We're done that trade. Good trade there on RUM. Packed my patience on that one, up 31%. If this one wants to dip down into 16 or 16 and a fifth and make a higher low than that 1580, I could get back into this one. But right now, we're going to take the profits and run. So the only trades I've got on are Gevo. What's Gevo up to at this moment? Yeah, it's still holding above 98, so there does seem to be a buyer at 98. So we held up 98s here, and then we'll see if we can dip. But right now, we are kind of locked in a bit of a range, about a 4-penny range, 202 to the high side, 198 there on GEVO. All right, Apple right back up into 90s, but still below 259s. I don't think I should be taking anything out here, because if we get a double bottom through VWAP and then we reclaim VWAP and reclaim the whole dollar level, well, then that just puts the odds of us breaking that 259.25, 259.33 top all the more likely. So I'm going to hold on here to Apple. I'm not taking it out. So far, we got bottom wick. Let's see if we can weasel back above 259. Likely going to be a bit of a resistance level now on the dead one, right? The whole dollar is a psychological area of both support and resistance. Let's see if it acts again like that this time. And I'll submit to you, we definitely did have some 259 supports once we were above it. Look at how we bounced off that level quick as you like. Once we dip down from 259.33 right back into 259. We're having trouble with 259 again. Back into the 80s we go. Nothing I didn't know was going to happen or likely to happen. So really nothing a surprise there. GameStop above the $0.50 and back into 60s. We're still about 10 pennies out of the money here on GameStop, quite frankly. We did wet our beak into the 80s, but now it's a lower low, lower high situation and has been since the breach of that 33.05. Every successive crest has been lower than its predecessor, and by extension of that, every successive trough has been lower than its predecessor. So we are in a downward channel, whether you like it or not. Right now on GameStop, the only thing kind of keeping me involved in this is the $0.50 hold and knowing that we're in the middle of the upward channel. So I just finished telling you about a downward channel. That's a local downward channel. There is this upward channel though. So multiple different time frames you need to be charting off to get different looks. There we go. This is the upward channel that I theorize that we're in at the moment. And this is kind of like the midpoint of this upward channel. We're below VWAP, so let's see if we can reclaim it again. GameStop, Gevo, and Apple, Joseph, hopefully we'll do a little bit better. Guys, KULR has now had a 6-candle hold up above VWAP. So it might be time now to work back into KULR. Shout out to Elon. Elon, though, I'm going to tell you, brother, there could be some resistance here at the 50-penny area, not just because it's psychological resistance, but we had a consolidation area bottom here on KULR for a hot minute at 50 pennies. So if it acted as support previously, it could act as resistance this time, Joseph.
Yeah, I mean, $5 super chat. The styled one. Kyle.
Hey, he's back.
He's back. You're
Merry
a mean
Christmas,
one.
brother.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Check your SPY larger time frame, jabroni. 602 should have been all over your radar. I mean, Kyle, listen, Kyle. This is what I have to say. All right, you've seen Tuesday's session. You've seen the run that the market has been on for the past little while. Just because we have one selling day doesn't mean you're absolutely victorious in the grand scheme of things, all right? But I'll give you it for right now. That's a great level. But come on, in the long run, who's the winner? Who have been the winners, my brother? Come on, all right? That's all I got to say. You can agree with me or not, but hey, you have won this battle, but I don't know about the war quite yet, my friend. So we'll continue to monitor that, my good buddy, Big Spile himself. All right, guys. So I'm into some TQs here. All right. Why? I see a hammer. I want to play the break of it. We are now pulling back. But again, we had that big sell-off here at the peaks. They're now down about 0.1% on the session. Let's see if these hold. I should have got in at that hold of the volume weighted average price. I did not. I am now chasing. We breach 88s. I'm out. I'm going to get back in. If price decides that it wants to turn around, it's that simple. I'm not going to hold on to this position for very long if it breaches. And there's a saying that Neil says, and I really like what he has to say on that, is that you can be wrong. It's okay to be wrong, but it's not okay to be wrong for a long time. All right, I really like that, and that's kind of the motto that I stick to. I'm cool with being wrong. There's no doubt about that. You can't avoid that in this game, but being wrong for a long time, you can most definitely avoid that. And there's ways to mitigate losing too much when you shouldn't. But someone said Tesla. We were talking about an ascending wedge on Tesla. And sure enough, we broke it to the downside, but I just want you to keep in mind, when a stock is extremely strong like this, those breakdowns aren't as strong either, right? You're not going to get that massive momentum within the breakdown. It's like, okay, I'll take a leg down, pull back, stop a bunch of people out, then go and make that other leg down. And sure enough, that has been the case, right? So as you can see here, we had that really strong 5-minute opening drive. We breach it about 20 minutes later, but then we just recover all the way, pretty much recovering all the way through almost 60% of that breakdown, running into some key support levels, and then making another leg down, making another high, and then making a new low of day, all right? So for me personally, sitting in that type of short would be extremely tough, especially if you're playing the 5-minute orb, all right? You wouldn't be able to sit through that. That's a massive move there, especially at the low. That's almost a 10-point move in Tesla, and that is extremely hard to sit through, especially when you got some size on that front, all right, guys? So I think Tesla is I'm not saying it's a long, but again, it's not as weak as it may seem right now, okay? So now we only got about a minute left in the SPY poll. Folks, 524. We didn't hit that benchmark that I was looking for, but that's okay. Yeah, exactly. That's what I just said. Pathik Sanjeevi. It's okay to be wrong, but it's not okay to stay wrong. There's no doubt about that. You don't want to do that. Otherwise, you're going to be cutting your lifespan in this game extremely short. And longevity to this profession is to keep those winners larger than the smaller, as obvious as it may sound, but just cut those losers. Don't hold on them for too long. That's what the people here on this floor do. If we're wrong, we get stopped out. We're not crying over spilt milk. We're looking to reassess the situation and then get back into that, all right? So, guys, I think that's going to be the end of the Playmaker pool. We're going to document the data right after we get back from my guy, Sharif.
All right, we just took a quick scalp on sound in at, I think, 24.10. We just scalped out into that high 20s there. I've set up another dip trade over here to account for a 24 dip and pop. So if that happens, I've got a nice little dip trade set up on SOUN. We'll see if we can get that. Here it comes into 24 again. It's been putting in decent higher highs and higher lows, kind of that curling effect with a lot of bottoming tail candles showing buyer exuberance. So if we can get a bit of a better price here on SoundHound, I'll take it in that $24 area. Apple still having trouble with 259. It is now technically putting in a higher low after that dip trade that we got at 64s in the mid 80s, low 90s currently here on Apple. Jivo, happy I didn't take this one out because there was buyers at 98. My only mistake is I didn't add at 98. If I saw the buyers stepping in aggressively, which they certainly were, why wasn't I adding at 98? That was a bit of an oversight for me. So we'll look to do a little bit better this time or next time on Jivo. And keep an eye out on that. GameStop. Yeah, right back into my entry. So now we're at 73s here, 75 showing up on GameStop, but it is, again, consistently lower lows and lower highs here. We haven't changed that pattern quite yet on GameStop, but we're still in a bit of a wider uptrend right now. So I'm keeping my eye out on that. Color, KULR, above the $0.50, but not by that much. I'm keeping my eye out on the side chart because I perceive the $0.50 to be a bit of a resistance level here. So back to SOUN, nothing printing at around that $24 area yet. Let's see if we can get something, small amount here at 10s. No, it's going. It's going to go without me here, it looks like. SOUN is going to break out, it looks like here. It's really setting up to go. Great curling effect. It was a mistake taking it all out there. I wonder if this comes back into 10s. We're not that far from it. 18s are on the bid right now. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to add into SOUN here, but it does look good. Yeah, here we go. $0.25 just showed up, but there is selling at this level. So even though we're making higher highs and higher lows, we're definitely not that aggressive. And when we move up into those higher highs, I'm seeing a lot of blue and a lot of red come in on my time in sales, which means a lot of people are either taking profits or getting in short at this level. So we'll have to keep an eye out here on SOUN, but I do like the curling effect off 24, guys. Keep your eye out on SoundHound. Adara, what do you got?
What we have here is our Money Talk segment. Really quickly, though, we're doing crypto. That is what we've prepared here. That's what we're doing. But really quickly, I want to mention the 7-year note auction, 4.532% versus 4.183% previous. So well higher than expected there for the 7-year yield. Now, we're going to take a look here. There's a lot of weakness in the crypto space right now. Bitcoin and Ethereum both down in the day. But I'm going to take a look at some of these other coins as we usually do during the afternoon version of our crypto look. We're going to take a look at XRP. XRP, much like Bitcoin, has had quite the post-election move, but XRP is a little interesting as well because it had some other catalysts as well. We had Ripple announcing they're going to have their RLUSD stablecoin, which gave XRP a little bit of a bump. The announcement that Gary Gensler is leaving the SEC was also a specifically good catalyst for crypto as a whole, but especially for XRP because there was that Ripple and the SEC battle that was going on there. And the announcement of a pro-crypto, I guess, head of the SEC now, Paul Atkins, or someone who's viewed as pro-crypto, was a great look for the whole space. So lots of positive catalysts here for XRP, but right now, a little bit of a tough spot in the daily chart. After this run-up into the start of December, struggle a little bit here with that area just shy of 3, slightly lower highs, and now it looks like we're going to break below that flat bottom, at least on a closing basis of that 2.2 level, currently at that 2.14. We'll also take a look here at AVAX, which is not a name I don't think we've ever looked at. This is Avalanche. Seems especially weak on the day here, down about, this is the market cap. We're going to get the AVAX USD. This one is down currently about 7% on the day. And this daily chart, a little bit of a topping tail candle here. We top at 56, double top. Then we break below this previous support at 44.5s. Now, as of right now, we're trying to get back to that 42 area. Currently below 40s, around that 37.20. The next level of potential support here would also be previous resistance around that 36, but we'll have to wait and see if we hold. We're about a point away from that level. That is quick crypto analysis here with Adara. Back to the Bash Brothers.
Appreciate that, Adara. All right, it's time. It's time for that. It's that time.
It's that time, my guy.
Playmaker poll, baby. Shout out to the Playmaker.
We need a quick highlight reel. We need the chalkboard up as a how to trade on the Playmaker poll, man.
Chilean nightmare. Hopefully,
I know he's a busy guy. He's a busy guy, though. You know what I mean? But hey, guys, it's time to enter this 13th trade. Lucky number 13th. You know what's going to happen here from that process. My guy Sharif is going to give us our entry, our target price, exit prices, and our stop losses. And I don't even need to look at the poll to know which way we're going. But Sharif, entry price, my brother, man.
6109.
6109.
So we're taking it out.
Yes. 60109.
601. Excuse me. 60109.
601. What in the days?
I know, my bad.
And target price.
So our target price for the beak wetter, 60309.
60309. Beautiful.
Stop out Joseph at 609.
Ooh, 609 cents there,
it.
folks. That is the data. Let's find out. You know, we're going to get out at 155. So what time did we get in? Around 106.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful stuff there. Guys, there is the data as of right now. Let's continue to monitor this and see what happens for the session. I mean, I wasn't liking where we were sitting earlier before this streak, but I kind of like where we're sitting now. I think this gives us a little bit more of a chance to become profitable on this one.
I agree, man. So here we go. GameStop coming back into 75s. We did reject 80s, but now if you're looking for a bit of a pattern now, local pattern, on the one, we are putting in incrementally higher lows now. We had this lower low, lower high pattern basing out what I see to be 32.46. Let's see now if we can continue to ascend. We're having trouble with 80s. Here come 80s. 78s now on the bid. I have a beak wetter in the low 90s, excuse me. Last time we took anything out was 80s. Here we go again with 80s. We'll see if it rejects there again or whether we're able to clear it, at least on a wick basis. So I'm keeping my eye right now on GameStop. Now, I did get in again into SOUN. I'm punching it at highs. I like what I see. I see a rounded bottom. I see umpteen amount of bottoming tail candles through 24 and then a curl up above. So I'm going to keep my dip trades to defend that 24 active. I'm long, I believe, at 26s. We're printing 24s. I could have taken it out in the high 30s, but that's not the move. That's not the move at all. So let's see if we can come back in to that low, not low 24s, but low 24s. What am I saying? 24.10, 24.15. That's where I'm waiting for my dip trades. We can get a little bit more there. SOUN, good directional move on the day. Pleased with this one. Apple, boring me to no end because it keeps finding resistance at 259. That's fine. So now Apple looking like a 259 flat top. Now, the other side, the more positive side about that is, since I got in at 64s over here, bottom wick, incrementally, it has been higher lows with a flat top being at around 259. We're going to have to hold this pattern. My out is exactly where I got in. If it comes right into where I got in, that's the end of the trade for me on Apple. I won't allow any part of this trade to go against me. We're going to keep an eye here on AAPL. GameStop's at 80s. So let's see if this one wants to break 80s. So we have 80 on the ask, 74 on the bids. And this is what I was talking about. GameStop is not the tight name, or the spread is not as tight as it used to be. And now we've got a 5 candle rejection on the 1 minute at 32.80s. The other side of the coin again is we have incrementally higher lows with maybe an 80 flat top. So what I'm going to do, how many shares do I have here on GameStop? We're going to wait at 85s. We're going to wait at 85s to de-risk a little bit over here. We're waiting at 92s, but I've got enough shares that I can take a little bit more on there and not take out too much, just to de-risk a little bit over here on GameStop. Wow, come on, Sound, bro. You come right into my entry, my dip trade at 24.10, and you stop at 11s? That's frustrating. No. All right, so it came into my entry 1 penny above, and now it's curling right back above again. I'm talking about SOUN. I was looking for it to hold up at that 24.10. It did, but it came into 11s. We did not get the ab there on Sound, so look to do a little bit better. Let's flip to the other one. Givo doing well again. It held 198. Now it's back at 206. Let's see if it can take out that 210, Joseph. That is the high of the day. I'm going to vote for AVGO because the dang rocket. I'm surprised, though. Everybody's voting for NVIDIA. What are you guys voting for NVIDIA? You guys voting for flat stock. It's down 0.09. Why are you voting for it? Vote for AVGO. It's the one that's moving the market. 2.5%. Come on now.
Hello.
You guys know more than Drunken Miller?
Yeah, Drunken Miller. I don't get that, but I love it.
You don't know Drunken Miller?
No.
He's a trader.
Oh, is he?
He weaseled out of NVIDIA. Now it was his biggest position. Now it's his top 15, AVGO.
Oh, AVGO?
Yeah,
all right, we're good. I got to look up this guy.
that one.
Yeah, okay. Well, at least he's not Miss Kathy Woods selling NVDA at the bottom.
Saw that.
Yeah, she sold it at the worst price possible. Let's pull this up here, and I'm gonna point the lowest part on this chart is probably where Kathy Wood sold all her NVDA shares. And I'm pretty sure it was last year, somewhere around here. So that's the equivalent of it being around $12 to today's price. That's a stinger. Why? What she was saying, I'm not going to bash her too much because she's obviously, she was on a historic run. Otherwise, she wouldn't be as popular as she is now. But again, I don't know what she was seeing to let go of. Do you know what she was seeing to let go of NVDA at that type of price? I don't know. If anybody knows, please inform me, and I will be interesting on what we have to say. The others, ouch. I mean, hey, it's true. I don't call a spade, as Sharif would like to say, but again, tough one. But yeah, guys, let's take a look here. We're in some TSLL. We're just going to use the 2x leverage vehicle on Tesla. You guys know I don't have the best entry price here on the TQs. All right, I would have liked to get that significantly closer to the volume weighted average price, Not the case. Playing the break of the hammer on the 5-minute. Let's see if we can go and test this high a day. Otherwise, it's just going to be a lower high on the session, and then there might be some potentially more downside. Are we forming somewhat of a head and shoulders? I don't know just yet. Nice phase here, head, and then now forming shoulder to the other arm. So let's wait and see what's going on. I would like to see if Tesla can come a little bit closer to the volume weighted average price. That will put us around $458 and change. Let's see if we can get back to that. Kyle Burnett, especially if you're scalping options and 0T boost lots of time. Yeah, he was just saying one good trade a day. Kyle and I were talking in the chat, and all it takes him is one good trade a day. And sure enough, when you're sitting at home, he's working as well too. That's all it is. Sometimes just one really good trade a day, and that can make your day. There's no doubt about that, Kyle. Good luck, brother, and thank you for the super chats as always. Much appreciated, and we love it when you chime in. Who's worth, Kathy or Kramer? That's a good question. I don't know. I would personally. I like Mad Money. I like Jim Cramer. I like his takes. I don't know necessarily what the Travel Trust Fund is. He's always talking about the Travel Trust and people who are in his investor group. So if anybody can inform me on what that is, yeah, I know Katina Man watches a lot of Mad Money as well too. So I like to chime in. I like to listen to what he says. He's a vet, right? He's been doing this for a long time, and to not take in his words into consideration doesn't mean you necessarily have to listen and go do exactly what he says, but you should listen, chime in, see what he has to say about the overall market and maybe some of his picks as well too. But again, with his outlooks on the market, I like Jim Cramer. I like kind of that whole CNBC group. I'm not going to complain too much about those. They know significantly more than I do. So again, I just like listening to them. But guys, yeah, let's see what the SPY is up to here. We are forming that lower high here, folks, starting to pull back now, forming that kind of head and shoulders pattern here on the SPY. Let's see if we break these key support levels around 600, then I think we're going to head a little bit south. But guys, you know our stop loss on this one, it's 609 cents. So that might be in the picture shortly there, my brother, man.
Sounds good. All right, Apple's about to get stopped out here. Break even unless it bounces off 65, which it just did. So we'll see if it wants to hold up a bit of a double bottom right now at 258.65. I'm not allowing any part of this to go against me. Apple has been, I want to say, undirectional during or lacking direction during the midday, and it's below VWAP. Not like I really base my trades on Apple around VWAP, but we are definitely below 259, and we're using 259 for a hot minute as support. So now it's acting as resistance. So I'm definitely, I've moved up my stop on that one. SOUN, I'm still waiting for a dip trade, possibly at 10s. We'll see if that one wants to come in. Now, GameStop, the spread is tightening up here. It looks like we are accumulating in front of 80. So we have been rejecting 32.80 on GameStop for a while on the 1 minute, since 103. So about 10 minutes. A lot of topping tails through 32.80. Nothing has printed above it. And the ask certainly hasn't been above 32.80 here on GameStop. We're waiting at 85s and 92s. I'm looking for the higher low, flat top kind of situation to manifest. Whether it does or not, an entirely different story. We're going to put the odds in our favor. That's what I'm looking to do here. So packing my patience on that one, keeping my eye on GIVO as well. Did we get the print on SOUN, the dip trade? Let's find out. Not yet. Here we go. SOUN coming aggressively into that 10 area. Looks like there's a lot of selling here. This is making me a little bit nervous. But now that the tape is picking up, or the way the book is moving is picking up a little bit. So let's see if we get the ad. There we go. We get the ad. SOUN is coming in aggressively over here. Let's see if it bounces up. What's our price on SOUN? We're about 10 pennies out of the money. Let's set up some orders to account for any pops up in the price over here. So we'll set up like that. We'll see if this one wants to move up. What is our price here on SOUN? SOUN, we're long 13s. Okay, so 24 13s. Let's see exactly anything below 24s. We're gonzino, quite frankly. It's going to have to hold up above there. There we go, right back into that $0.25 area. Let's throw up another order there. Yeah, let me take out that previous one, though. That's not right. Yeah, there we go. Good. So organized there on SOUN. Still, GME, no 32.80 breaks. What's Apple doing? There we go. Nice fill on SoundHound, man. All right. A couple ads there on the bottom of 24. Nice. Okay, let's set up a little bit higher over here as it zigs and zags. Let's go 39s. No, that's a high day break. Let's set up 35s. We'll see if we can take out a bit of a scalp there. We're still holding some on SOUN. How's Apple doing? Still holding above the 2/3 of a dollar, back into 4/5. Let's see what the future's doing. Is Apple got a shot to take out the highs or to get above VWAP, I mean? Well, the NQ did a nice kind of dip trade there into the VWAP, got bought up pretty quick above 22,000, but still below that 22,000 and a third. We are looking to take it out though and go back green here on the NQ. So we shall see. I think I got stopped out on something there. Rumble? Is that rum that I got stopped out on? No, we got a print on sound. Bang! There we go. We take out the top there on SOU and appreciate you, Joseph. Let's set up now on the north side of the half dollar. I'm going to sit at 55s. We're printing 35s right now. SOUN. Let's see if we can get, oh, wow, right into the mid 40s. We might get printed quick over here. Let's see if we're able to continue above the mid 40s. SOUN. Violence. I had dip trades setting up into the whole dollar. That's why you kind of see the bottom wick there. I wasn't quick enough to do it live. That's why I had my resting dollar cost average orders. Let's see if we're able to take out the half dollar. Reason I'm setting up in front of the half dollar is because we have a 70 high of the day, so I'd like to front run the high of the day in case we do reject. They're printing mid 40s right now on SoundHound. Here comes though the half dollar, 45 showing up here on the ask. A tight spread of 1 penny on SoundHound, so not bad, just volatile, but it's not bad spread wise. Here comes 50, 49s now on the ask. Can we get a move above 50 pennies? You know how this works. Sometimes it is a psychological level of resistance, and as I see it now, there's size at 49 and at 50s. About 3,000 lots minimum at 50s, about 500 lots at 49. Here we go, 48s back on the level 2 on the ask. We're moving down now with lower highs. 48s now acting as a top previously. Here comes 49s again. Let's see if we're able to take out some of the size posted there. We're eating up the size at 49. It's getting cleared. Can we move up to 50? Let's see. The size on 49 getting cleared up there on the NASDAQ. But we have now even bigger size at 50. About 5,000 lots now showing up at 50 on SOUN. So we're going to have to clear that. We'll have to see if it squeezes. But then if it does, that will be a stupid level to have it at 55s. I'm taking off that order. That's not the right order. If we get the squeeze through the half dollar there, then I don't want to sit at 55s to make 5 pennies through the area of resistance. Nah, I'd rather this come all the way down, stop me out, rather than being an idiot and taking it out at 55s. Removed. Order removed. All right, back to Apple, still dilly-dallying below 59. Givo dilly-dallying as well. What the hell else do we have? We got GameStop print. Finally, GameStop gives us 85s. Now what's our order here? What's our price? We're 70s now on GameStop. So de-risked a little bit. I'm not taking out my orders in the low 90s. We're putting in higher lows. And apparently we took out the flat top at 32.80, but we're right down below it. Kind of tough to gauge what GameStop is doing on the day. This is a bit of a bamboozler, other than to say there's an upward channel off the lows. But what's happening within the upward channel, kind of hard to gauge. That's fine. We'll see what we get and we won't get upset. What's your look?
Yeah, I'm just here in some Tesla. I just posted an order on the TQs. We took a little bit off of TSLL here as well too, folks. As we started to break that resistance level like that, so we'll take a little bit off here. We had that nice bottoming signal, and I mentioned it to somebody earlier in the chat, is that when a stock's sentiment overall is relatively strong, it's harder to get those breakdown unless it's really prepared to sell. And I don't think that's the case for Tesla, especially after Tuesday's session, all right? So I'm going to look for a potential bounce in that stock. We had those signals, and then we take it. Was I a little bit late to the dance? Absolutely. Am I fashionably late? Debatable, but we're here and that's all that matters, all right? So we're here at the right times, we're in at the right time, and sure enough, let's see if we can somehow take advantage of this. These guys are opening up a mass amounts of, what do you got there, my guy? Oh, all right, show the people's there. Club Sand, is that from next door there? All right, bring it up there, Club Sandy. Club Sandy, with a side salad? All right, bring it up with a side salad, it looks like. Is it a garden salad or what? A quinoa, you wanted the quinoa? Okay, here we go, nice Ooh, is that strawberries in there? Jeez, man, these guys are living good. Obi had the Firehouse subs there the other day, but hold for a second here. He's not here, so I'm not gonna bash him too much, but I have a major issue with cold cut sandwiches, all right? Yeah, I'm that guy. I'm not going to get a cold cut sandwich. All right, I'm not going to Arby's. You'll never catch me in Arby's ever. You won't catch me look at that, pull it up there. Look at this there. Would you look at that? Look at that. Is there bacon on that? Oh my days, mate. Like these guys are feasting good. I'm over here slightly starving. So I'm always intrigued. No. I'm joking. I'm good. I'm legitimately good. Yeah, I'm good. I mean, these guys are always eating, so now my mouth is watering. I'm a big foodie, so I always want to take a look at what the boys are eating to the right of me. So yeah, someone's at Firehouse right now. Amdeed Singh, you're at Firehouse subs right now. Get the meatball then if you are. If that's the case, get the meatball. I'm a big meatball guy, but anyways, yeah, I'm not a cold cut guy, and I know he got some roast beef. I think he got the roast beef sandwich, so you won't be eating. You won't see me eating that stuff. All right, folks. Stick to the holistic stuff. But yeah, all right. So back to the market. TSLA, we took a little bit off. If we come back to the break even, we're getting at a dodge on that front. Wow, is it good? Is it that good? So it's that good. Those guys are enjoying that one. Good stuff there. Jersey Mike subs. I don't know if we have a Jersey Mike's here, Paul. Don't forget, this is Canada. So we got Subway and Firehouse sub, Mr. Sub, but no one even really goes to Mr. Sub anyway. So they're hanging on by a thread. They're like the SMCI of Subhouse there. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, tough luck there. But I remember our school lunch. Yeah, our school lunch used to have Mr. Sub, and that was the one day that I skipped out on. I didn't want anything to do with Mr. Sub. I'm more of a Subway guy on that front. But guys, yeah, let's see what happens here on TSLL. Again, we're slowly starting to recover some of what we gave back on that really quick dump, on that volatility spike in the market. So let's see if we can continue to climb higher. We are forming some higher lows, folks, which is a good sign for the market. It's only a matter of time. We're still positive for our Playmaker pull trade. So let's sit in TSL a little bit longer, and I'm about to get stopped at a Qs, and that's why entry is so key sometimes, because you give yourself that better RVR instead of chasing a trade, but now you can get yourself that better RVR. So I'll pull up the TQs here real quick, and then we'll send it off to Sharif. So there you go. I'm out of that. If I was in that view up, then I can withstand a little bit more of this pullback there. So yeah, that's
all
my
right,
take
sir.
there.
Apple, yeah, another dark pool print on AAPL as it comes real close to our exit. Again, I'm not going to let any part of this trade go against me. We're long 64s. It wants to break 64s. That's the end of the trade. It's found support in the mid-60s. Now I think we've got a 5-candle holdup on the 5-minute at that mid-60s. It kind of looks like it's a bit of a range, a little above VWAP, a little bit below. Looks like it is, though, putting in lower highs with a flat bottom. So Apple could looking like it might want to give some up here. This is what I'm talking about with 258 mid-60s as the low, and then, kind of 258 mid-90s as a high. It goes right back into the 80s, so we'll see if we can continue to move up here on Apple. The Fuge has been putting in higher lows. It's green again. I'm always talking about the NQ. I'm never talking about the ES unless I'm charting in the morning on the big desk. When I'm trading here, when I say Fuge, it's always the NQ. So NQ March contract above that 20,028 closing print, a 3-candle hold up at the same level, at a predictable level that we had trouble with at around 1140. And that's kind of keeping a lot of these Mag 7s kind of indecisive on the day, a little bit below the closing print. All right, back to SOUN. I've moved up my stop to my entry, which is 2405. We're printed 2494s. I'm going to wait at 69s, which is fine. You guys know how I trade, which is also front running the high of the day at 72. So printing it at 69, not just whimsical, but actually strategic in this case to front run the high of the day in case we do reject that HOD. Givo still doing the same thing above $2. Let's find out what GameStop's doing. We're printing there on GameStop, finally. All right, so let's see if we can continue to move up here back above 33 on GameStop. Where are we long? We're long 32.65s. It's taking out 33.05, so we're going to take out some more here on GME. Bit of a look at that. Like I crossed down 3 pennies. It didn't print me. That's the kind of spread you have to deal with today on GME. Where Adara's clapping. I love that. Anytime she hears spread, she's like, yeah. Get it, Adara. So now we're looking at GameStop. We have basically the top wick so far, 33.05. We've got a couple of more outs on this bad boy. Let's see if GameStop wants to keep going. Catman was tweeting on the weekend, or Catman was tweeting yesterday, excuse me, a present. Nobody knows what it means. They don't know if it's cryptic or it's just, hey, Merry Christmas, here's a box, right? So we'll keep an eye out on GameStop. Local high there was 33.06s. We got out 05, so let's see. We're right back down below 33. Kind of unsurprised by that, as selling coming right back into that. Back to SOUN. This is important because the half dollar had about 5,000 lots sitting at 24.50s, and I removed my order from 24.55s because it made no sense. If you're going to blow through 5,000 lots, you're likely going to squeeze more than 5 pennies. And if that's the case, I'm not going to just take out 5 pennies because that's stupid. Here we go. Look at that size right there. Now, some of it's gone. So I don't think we have 5,000 lots at the 50 penny level anymore. It looks like some of it's gone. I don't know. Maybe they got removed. I don't think anything got printed at that level. So we'll wait to see once we actually show 50s on the level 1, whether or not that same size will appear. The size at 49, though, is gone. There was about 500-600 lots at 49. Not anymore. Here we go again with 50s. Let's see if we're able to take out 50s. Yeah. There's a decent size there at the 50 penny level, but you can see it's definitely not as big as it was before. So that's the look right now. Anything else to do over here? Rum? Yeah, we haven't been involved in that one in a hot minute. What else we got? That's sound. Apple still in the 80s, nothing to do there. And Givo, Joseph, 204.05, nothing doing there, my friend. What are you looking at?
Yeah, brother, just hearing some TSLL. Let's take a look at what we traded already today. It was KULR, tab AM. I think this was our trade of the day. There's no doubt about that. Nice one there. Played that consolidation break. And then we got that lower high. So it kind of formed that double top and then dumped on us. So that's a nice look there on KULR.
Yeah.
No, and yeah, the double top there, yeah. Well, I was looking at it, I was like, man, if we have the inability to breach the high there, then I think we're gonna double top on it. So, or do something along those lines, form that lower high. So yeah, that's unfortunate on that one. But again, there's plenty of other things that we can be trading. There's no doubt about that. And that, sure enough, is the TQs. Oh, actually, I'm out of the TQs. So sick look there, Joe. I'm out of TQs. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm out of that one, unfortunately. But NVDA, we also trade today as well. We looked for the ad on NVDA and didn't get it. We were in that consolidation phase. Not the best entry, but we did kind of get those moves higher as we posted continuously new outs. We got those filled. Then we looked for the reload, the ad, and then sure enough, it just stopped us out break even. Totally fine. But now we're in some TSLL. Let's see if we can go and test the volume weighted average price here on Tesla. And then I think I'm going to look to take a little bit more out here. So let me post something around 35.50s. And then that will, oops, 1 second, 35.50s, boom, boom. And then we'll take a little bit off there. And then sure enough, let's see if we can catch a fill, especially with the overall market starting to recover. And this is kind of what I'm pointing at. I would like to see if we can go and test these highs of day on the SPY. Our trade's doing really well, but this is a key moment here. If we have the inability to create a new high, is this something that we can be subjected to a lower high on the session? And as of right now, as prices slowly starting to curl over, I think that's the path that we are headed on. Unless some of these mega cap decide that they want to take a second leg higher, or AVGO wants to continue to move higher, Meta, Amazon, Google, all decide that they want to step in, then I think we can. But as of right now, we're kind of just hovering around. It's been a little bit of a quiet day, especially on some of these mega caps, just trading within this range, even though we did print some new highs. And I think all-time high on Google here is just about north of 200 or around 200. So we didn't really push for that on the session. Totally justifiable. It is Boxing Day, so a lot of Wall Street and I guess Bay Street is definitely, or TSX is definitely closed. Yeah, what is Bay Street? Yeah, come on, man. You know what? I used to drive by the TSX all the time, and I didn't realize where it was until like a couple months ago.
It's like down the road.
Yeah, it's like right there. Yeah.
Didn't they move the building?
I don't know. It's on the west side of the west. It's on the west side of Bay Street. Yeah.
Yeah, they have the big like ticker outside. Yeah, it's all. Katina Man rang the bell one time.
Did he?
Yeah.
No way. Do we got footage of that?
You got footage?
We got oh my days. We got everything he says. All right.
All right, guys. I waxed poetic about this sound how breaking that $half level. It did. And it didn't squeeze. So there was big size at the $half, and there was even bigger size on an iceberg at the 254, 55 level. And we got up there and we cleared it. But look at this. Just selling right back down, so I didn't get the squeeze that I was theorizing, which is fine. I'm not taking it out here. I'm going to continue to hold for a high day break. I'm going to continue to hold into 69s. Technically, we still have higher lows. So SOUN, quite a bamboozler. I thought that definitely if we took out the size at the $half, that we would be squeezing. No, there was in fact even more size above the $half, just this time in an iceberg. So we'll see if we can get that squeeze through the $half when we get back from Madeira.
What we're going to do here is take a look at the US dollar during our Money Talk segment. This is our afternoon rendition, or midday rendition, if you will. So we'll take a look here at the monthly chart to switch it up. We're almost done this month, and we are poised to make our third straight green month for the US dollar, and that follows 3 months of weakness straight. So we sold off for July, August, and September. Then we actually did a bullish engulfing for September and August in one fell swoop here with this October print. November very strong as well. Now December, we're actually looking here to close above 108. This will be our first close above 108 since it looks like October 2022. So this could be pretty interesting look for the DXY on the monthly chart. But we're on a day that's pretty light in economic data. There's not too much of that to discuss. No Fed speakers. Why not discuss this CME Fed Watch tool a little bit more? It's pretty stable, actually. 91.4% of participants expecting a no cut here at the next Fed meeting on January 29th, 2025. But we do have about 8.6% of participants expecting a 25 basis point cut. And it's worth noting, I talked about this a little bit before we got that meeting, but even leading up to the meeting, before we had the Fed basically say they were expecting much fewer cuts, maybe even some saying 0 cuts for next year, we already had a lot of participants pricing in the idea that there's probably not going to be a cut this month. So it's a really interesting look here. The CME Fed Watch tool basically predicted some of this hawkish sentiment we got at that FOMC meeting. We'll have to see if this is the case, but it's worth noting this has been pretty stable. So a week ago, we still had these odds of 91.4% expecting no cut. That was as of the day after the Fed meeting. Though a month ago, about 55% were expecting a cut, and another 31.1% actually expecting a rate hike. So it looks like we're not expecting a hike right now, but likely not a cut either. Back to you guys.
All right, Joseph, we got to pay a bill. All right, guys, not yet? Okay. We're not going to do a bill pay yet. All right, so keeping my eye here on SOUN, it looks like it held that third of a dollar, which is fine because it whiffled and waffled at 24.30, which is all good. But let me tell you, I've already moved up my stop to account for this $24 hold. If it doesn't hold $24, I'm not going to continue to nurse this one. Let's have a look at what the other ones are doing. GameStop, right back down below 33s. That's why I was taking out some at 33.05 for exactly this reason. It's not as directional as you'd like it to be, especially with a catalyst, with Catman tweeting and whatever. It looks like it's going to be a bit of a, it's going to be a tougher trade. I'm going to have to extract money out of this one as we go. We're long 61s. Right now it's printing 82s, so I'm just going to let that one cook for now. What else we got involved over here? We got Givo at 02s. That's fine. Let's see what this one is doing. All right, so we just got stopped at an Apple. Break even for the remaining amount, which is fine. I'm done trading Apple. Apple's just been garbage to trade on the day. Garbage. All right, unless you're like this algo that can range trade to no end, and that's just not how I trade, so I'm going to leave that one. Obviously, I don't feel Apple's a garbage company. I just want to make that very clear. But as a trade on the day, not for me. So keeping my eye back on GameStop now, Sound, and Givo. Those are the ones we're involved in. But I want to mention there's some others. So I saw you guys mention this one, BBAI, one that we all know about. It's not a new one to any small cap trader. Big Bear AI in the high of the day right now, $4.73. Good move up. It's up, I believe, 26.25%. Very strong. And if you took it off VWAP, off that 415, it was absolute money. I got it, Joseph. Don't worry.
Hey, brother, man.
All right, guys, time to pay some bills now. We're telling you about eSignal. It's a platform that lets you trade smarter, not harder. That's what you want to do. Upgrade to that elite trading experience. It'll help you analyze, it'll help you strategize, and hopefully after all that, you'll be able to capitalize by foreseeing those profitable opportunities with the platform that you need. You get a bunch of stuff. You get infinite data. You get instant trading. You get to know where the market is moving before others with that lightning fast data and execution. A lot of people compliment their charts. Some would say they got charts that change the game, which allows you to customize and analyze the markets faster and in your way. And we all know a good trading strategy requires sound backtesting, and that's what you get here. You get better backtesting, you get better scanning. You can predict the future by understanding the past. It's reliable, real-time data, up to the second market information from hundreds of global market sources. It's everything you need, all in one place. So don't miss a beat. Execute your best trades now. If you're ready to elevate your trading, scan that QR code on the bottom right of your screen or check out the link in the description of this video. Shout out to the good folks there at eSignal. And they gave me an account there, and I know the Katina man has had an account for a hot minute. And I got to tell you, I've been dragging my feet to set this account up, and that's kind of one of the things I could definitely do not want to do in the new year. I do not want to procrastinate about anything.
Anything.
Like literally.
So
if I have something in my to-do list, Joseph, I never want to like put it down the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you on that one, my guy. So let me put it to you this way.
Go.
Is this the year of efficiency? No, Mark Zuckerberg.
What is this, 2022?
Hey, you know what I mean?
What is this, $88?
But I mean, hey, it's 80. Oh, man.
Yeah, that's where I'm at a bottom.
Hey, man,
$600 now.
the year of efficiency. Stop procrastinating. Stop putting those things off.
100%.
Just do it now.
You're right.
Do it now. What is that, Shia LaBeouf? Just do it now.
Yeah, that guy's
I love Shia,
Where's
man.
he been at these?
He's just chilling, man. He's got a kid now. Yeah, he's got a kid now. And so he does a little odd movie here and there, but I like Shia.
Shia, he's excellent.
Yeah, I mean, what was that show? Transformers, and then what was the show that he had on Family Channel for the longest
good
time?
question.
Even Steven. Even Steven. Remember that? That was a good one there, yeah.
Has he still got his beard?
Shy?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
still
still
got
looking
the
a little
beard.
rugged, I think. Yeah. Not as rugged
I always
as
remember him like the
Amanda
Transformers.
Bynes. Oh,
Shots fired.
yeah,
Amanda Bynes, that was a whirlwind.
The Amanda
bro.
show, yeah.
Remember that movie where she, where's that movie where she goes from the States to her dad?
I thought
her dad is English, he's like a House of Lords guy, he's going to be the prime minister or something like that.
No, I don't remember.
Yeah,
Wasn't
it's
she
like
in
her
the
mom and
soccer
her
one?
dad hooked up in Morocco. Say that again, Adara? Yeah, Amanda Bynes.
Is that what a girl wants?
What is it called?
What a Girl Wants?
What a Girl Wants. I think you are absolutely right. Yes. Yeah, that's the only one that I really know her by. But I know she started.
She was in that soccer one too. She did a soccer one, I think, or something along those. Yeah. She's the man.
She's the man.
Yeah, because she was in soccer. Yeah.
I see where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I didn't see that one.
With it, but,
Yeah, is he still wearing a paper bag?
Who, Shy?
I don't know.
What do you mean?
Someone asked
That
there in
guy.
the chat. Yeah. Whoever is on the production desk right now.
I know who it is.
Interesting.
I know who it is. I know exactly who it is. But anyways, yeah, a tough look on the Amanda Bynes front. But let's continue. Let's talk some stocks. Enough about Amanda Bynes.
I mean, we've been talking stocks for 2 hours and 40 minutes. We can take a little bit of break here. Calm down, bro.
Yeah. So if anything, let us know what you want us to talk about. Let us know what stocks you're looking at, and then we'll take a look at them. But I just want to point this out. I think it was Darius and I were talking about some MU shorts that he had put on for this week, and sure enough, we're starting to pull back a little bit, and just the short isn't working out. So if you have any value left in that, just cut the trade and reassess the situation, right? Because it looks like we may breach this gap, this downside gap to the top side here momentarily. All right, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, I mean, hey, like. ABAT, thank you for the $5 super chat. Alex Upshar BMW What kind of BMW do you drive?
Ooh, I know you
ABAT?
got one.
Yeah, I got a little
Hey.
something there. I mean, it's no F-Type or anything like that, you know what I mean?
It's F-Pace, bro.
F-Pace, man.
F-Type is
F-Pace.
like-
All right.
F-Type is like the two-door.
Yeah, all right, the two. All right, my bad. The F-Pace there, but still looking mean and hefty on that front, my brother. Nice one. Nice engine start. Wake you up in the morning, eh?
Yeah, this is everybody.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, that stuff's wild. But yeah, okay, ABAT. Let's take a look at ABAT from a technical standpoint. American battery technology. Okay, I like this one. We're gonna pull this up and see what exactly. I'm assuming that they work in batteries here. But American battery Technology is an integrated battery materials company. The company is engaged in the exploration of new primary resources of battery metals, the development of commercialization of new technologies for that extraction. Okay, cool. Sitting at a $286 million market cap. Trading really nice here from an intraday standpoint. Relatively cheap as well, too. Let's zoom out here a bit, folks, and see what we got. Oh, we don't have any data on that. Okay, that's weird. Maybe it's a technical thing there. So I can't zoom out anymore.
What is the ticker, Joseph?
ABAT.
ABAT?
Yeah, let's see what we got there on ABAT. If we can pull up.
American Battery Tech. Yeah,
okay, so there you go. Pull up Sharif's chart there and see. Tell the folks what you
All right,
see
so
there.
let's throw the ticker on there, Joseph. Super quick. So ABAT is as follows. American Battery, $286 million market cap with a volume today. Decent volume, man. 26.5 million shares, a $3 name. Let's go on to the float. The float is 56 million shares. And let's bring down trade ideas, shut them out, and have a look at the short float. ABAT, 9.5%. Decent, not negligible. And not huge, but decent. Very good looking chart as of late. So this is the 5-minute look. It's been a higher high, higher low type situation for the past 3 days. Let's zoom out even further though. Let's go to the daily. Okay, so obviously we're coming in from the lofty areas where we were in September of 2023 and even farther back. We're lower lows and lower highs. It's ugly. That is, of course, until this day came in. December 18th changed everything. We're above the 50. We're above the 200. We reclaimed $1. Is there a reverse split here? No, this was organic right now here for ABT. I don't see any entries for this name from today, but what was the day that I said this was moving? 18th. Let's weasel back, see what was going on the 18th there. I'm not seeing anything. I'm seeing, just alerts that it's breaking out on volume. So I'm not sure. What does this company do even, bro? I mean, American Battery Technology, integrated battery materials companies engage in the exploration of new primary resources of battery metals, the development and commercialization of new technologies for the extraction. So it looks like they are involved in rare earth elements and stuff like that. That's a good look, obviously, because we know battery technology is booming right now. Don't know why this is breaking out. This feels like insider buying or something to that effect. I have no idea. There's nothing on the blotter here to account for it, but it is a really aggressive move up. Since the lows there, 84 pennies, we're up 350% in a matter of days, okay? And again, most notably, we're above the 200, we're above the 50, and then even more notable than that, we're not giving up the ghost at the end of the day. We're closing very much near the highs. Oftentimes with these small cap gappers, what you'll see is they make big intraday moves, but look at the closing print. Look at the daily. It ends up being a huge wick up and a small body. That's not what you're seeing here. You're seeing it very much close near the highs. And if we close, basically at this level right now, it'll be another day where we close the highs. So technically, it looks like an excellent breakout. I don't have a reason, though, why it's moving. If you do have it in the chat, if you're able to know why ABAT is weaseling on up, let me know. Tag me, though, so that I'm able to see it and we can communicate it to everybody else, Joseph. But that's a really good-looking chart. Obviously, very ugly daily chart, but, you got to start somewhere in order to kind of recover. And it looks like it is recovering now. What do you got?
Yeah, no, Yoel Rain asked me to take a look at HOLO. And this is as far as we're going to go with this one, Yoel. All right, we're going to stop here. That's it. Big no-no. Look at the trajectory of this stock. Not something that you want to be a part of. I'll leave it at that. We're not going to get too deep into that one. I'm going to go to your question. No, and no for HOLO. All right, so guys, let's see what TSLA is up to, or Tesla, this 2x, or is it 3x derivative here. We had the inability to get towards VWAP, totally fine. So we got out break even. Again, totally fine. Reassess the situation. Let's see what else is potentially moving. Now, SPY holding towards VWAP. Again, I mentioned that we had the inability to create a new high on the session, forming that lower high on the day. Totally fine. Tuesday, we know, was an absolute monstrous session. We started off the day really, really strong as well, too. Starting to push up towards those all-time highs, just fractions of a percent off of them for a lot of these big tech stocks, and same with the overall market, okay? Why are we kind of continuously on that path? Well, we know that after FOMC, the 25 basis point cut, the market tanked. Spikes the VIX up over 60%. The VIX goes as high as almost 30, I believe, something around. Fact check me on that. Now we had that increase in volatility starting to dwindle off. People bought the dip clearly as what it looks like from now, and then now we are pushing higher. So again, I gave you guys that statistic. It's only been 5 times now that the VIX has spiked over 60% in a single session. All right, keep that in mind. Now we're starting to climb back higher, all right? So someone in the chat also mentioned VIX puts. Great idea. I mentioned that to Sharif. I mentioned that to some of the boys as well, too. When the VIX spikes like that, look to buy some puts on that. Your downside is protected. You're just buying a flat-out put. So the max that you can lose on that front is the debit paid. Congratulations. You found yourself a trade that works out, okay? So that's a good thesis. I know I'm going to be looking forward to putting on those types of trades, and especially when the VIX is really low, the market has been trending higher. We know that in positive trending markets, the VIX usually tends to cool down. Cool, all right, let's build a thesis off that. The market was slightly extended, continuously making new highs, trading higher and higher, low VIX, with the high catalyst event on the horizon. Okay, 25 basis point, that's the spark that needed to ignite the flame on the market selling. There's ways you can take advantage of that, and that's what we want to do as traders. We always want to be innovative, and we want to find ways to capitalize on these types of ideas, all right? So now with Tesla, all right, let's pull up to the actual underlying asset here and see what it is up to. We are now going towards these key support levels, all right? If we breach them, then I think for the remainder of 2 hours of the day, there can be some more downside, okay? We are negative on the session, a whopping 2%. That's nothing to cry home about, as Sharif would like to say, or do you even say that? Or,
Yeah.
Okay, right. So yeah, exactly. So we don't want to do that. We're not going to cry over spilt milk or anything along those lines. All right, so let's see what happens here on Tesla. I think that at some point throughout this session, we do break that 252, and then maybe a little bit more downside. Not going to worry too much about that. So, Joseph, Paul, what are my thoughts on LUNA? Let's take a quick look at LUNA before we send it over to my guy. And again, not something that from a daily perspective, I am going to be looking to get involved in. I don't know anything that LUNA does. Let's pull it up here. Luna Innovative Corporated provides advanced optical technology. The company is engaged in providing capability in fiber optic. Okay, so fiber optic stuff here. Okay, so running cables, underground infrastructure, etc. Not something that I'm going to be looking to get involved in. The volume is not supporting this breakout, and you can see just the history of this stock is not overly well, okay? So just keep that in mind. There's so many other things that you can trade and that are trending. No need to fight something or no need to get into the value stocks, right, when they're not really working out that well, my guy.
All right, GameStop is coming in to the my entry price here. We're long 61s. It's at 62s. Anything on the ask below 60, and I'm ending it here because, well, it looks like it's not going to maintain trend, or at least not from my observation. Now, it's still holding that kind of upward channel that we talked about, but there's not enough time left on the show for me to nurse this upward channel. So here we go. We're showing 62s now on the ask. I'm long 61s. I'm going to flatten out if it prints anything below that. If it bounces here, fine, we'll stay in the trade. But if it prints anything below, I am gone. Givo still holding up above that level. Where is my Givo? In at 198, so we'll keep tabs on that. I didn't take any more out. This one, though, interesting me right now. Big Bear AI. It's coming in to a predictable level over here. BBAI, let me just throw this on the 5-minute chart. Let me have a look. Now, this is coming into that 4.5. It's also coming into the 20 exponential. I like it, though, off 440. Look how we rejected that 440 area initially, and we dipped down all the way to 415s or so. Here we go. We're breaching the $0.50 both on the ask and the bid. Here comes 440. I'm going to sit here at 441 with an order, just to front run that size. So I'm going to go ahead here. 441. We'll see if we can get a quick dip off that level and a pop back up. We're going to send it to Adair, though. We'll see what happens after that.
Just be aware here, Microsoft not moving too much, but keep an eye on MSFT. We're seeing lots here on social media, including from our own production team, that ChatGPT is not working. So ChatGPT is down. There's a lot of Twitter posts about this or X posts about this, which is why I wanted to mention it. We're talking multiple posts a minute here, so keep an eye on MSFT. It's also worth noting, we actually had a story earlier today reported by The Information that Microsoft and OpenAI are looking to renegotiate their relationship in talks that began back in October. So keep an eye here on MSFT as we continue to evaluate apparently a couple different ChatGPT and OpenAI related catalysts, guys. Back to you.
To Adara, I just tested it right now. It is not working. So yeah, a bit of a tougher look there. We'll have to see exactly when that moves back up. But I told you guys that Gemini released a new version of their, you can go to my screen here, of their LLM. And you can kind of get this one by going AI Studio. There we go. So I've showed you guys this before. This allows you to use all the different types of the versions, excuse me, of Gemini. You got the Gemini 1.5, 1.5 Pro, Flash 8B, whatever that is. Then you have the previews. You have the Gemini 2.0 Flash Experimental. Then you also have the Gemini Deep Thinking one, the experimental. These are all experimental. I use this thinking one for a non-thinking task, and it gave me generic answers. It looks as if, use these ones for what they were made for. Because it's apparently like these thinking ones are supposed to be like similar to ChatGPT's 03 and 01. There's different versions of those. And, they're used by some science researchers as well as mathematicians. And they're good for that, but they may not be good for writing. So this is kind of cool in the fact that you can kind of control all these different things over here. You see your token count, et cetera, et cetera. So AI Studio is the link for that. There's also Notebook. So Notebook LM, I don't know if you guys know about this one as well. So is this it? No. Yeah, this is it, actually. Let me just see if I can get into this one. Yeah, whatever, bro. All right, so this one is kind of cool. So you can go to notebooklm.google.com, and then you can upload your own PDF or whatever. I don't know what file formats are supported. PDF, text, it looks like, and also MP3s. You can upload it into there, and then you can kind of digest this either as a podcast. It plays it to you as a podcast. You can ask it questions about it. This is how a lot of people are studying, apparently. Not that I've used it personally, but people are speaking real well about this Notebook LM. And if you guys are in school, if you want a way to study, it looks like this one might be a good idea. So aistudio.google.com is the first one, and then notebooklm.google.com is the second one. So Google trying to do their best over here to kind of catch up. They were definitely behind, let's call a spade, but they are doing the most to catch up. So good luck for them, and their stock price has obviously rewarded them for that lately. BBAI, it did breach that $0.50. It didn't come down into low 40s there where I was setting up. So I'm going to take that dip trade off as there's about 6 minutes left on the show. So I'm not going to be trading this one. Let's see what SOUN is doing. Still above my entry, but it doesn't look like we're going to get printed at 69s. And I just got stopped out there on GameStop for the last remaining amount. So we only have a couple of positions left, SOUN and GIVO. We'll see if these one want to run up. I'm going to still keep an eye out on BBAI, though, because it's whiffling and waffling at that $4.50 area. So good luck for BBAI. And what else we have over here? Let's see what the future is up to. Yeah, well, we're break even right now, 0.0% on the NQ March contract, so kind of flat. We'll have to see if we can kind of rally into the end of the day. We have been putting in higher lows. So initially, we kind of bounced off that volume-weighted average price. The next trough after that breached 22,000, albeit momentarily, and then right up we go. So if I had to guess, and that's all that it is, this feels like we do close into the higher end of the range on the day, just based on these higher lows that we have now. A good sample size for it. Only 2 hours left in the trading day, so we'll have to see how this all works out. Joseph, what do you got?
Yeah. I'm actually just documenting the Playmaker poll now, my brother. Another profitable trade here on the 13th trade. So, I mean, really good look from everybody here. Again, it's really turning out to be somewhat of a profitable system that we're constructing here. So really, really interested in that, guys. So you've seen these metrics. We're not beating around the bush on any of this stuff. I just logged where we exited at 106.58. We didn't hit that 2-to-1 price target, but sure enough, it is a profitable trade, okay? So yeah, we really like this one here, and then we'll add it up real quick as well, too. So what do we got there? 260. Boom. There we go. All right. So, hey, I mean, man, wow, really interesting stuff here. I'm glad that we get to collect this as a unit, and I hope that you guys started doing this at home as well too, because I do this for my credit spreads. You absolutely have to. You have to track the data and show yourself what's working and what isn't working. So again, shooting a little bit over 50% on this front, but really good job, folks. I mean, going long at SPY at 1 o'clock and then getting out at 1:55 this far has been a profitable system, all right? And that's what we're here to do, is construct systems, okay? What up? Yeah, Erie Pages, what's up? What's up? What's going on with me? You tell me what's up, all right? And the market is what's up today. So, yeah, exactly. So, guys, let's see what we got going on TSL. We only got about 3 minutes left before we send it over to Obi and Sean. Let us know the last couple minutes on what you guys are looking at. Looking forward to talking for the last couple minutes. Again, not going to get too much going on here. Sharif, do you have any plans for Boxing Day or anything along those lines?
I do not. My sister is here.
So, are they at the crib?
Yeah,
at the crib,
exactly.
holding it down?
Yeah, we're just making a mess. One of the two. So yeah, I gotta definitely be around that.
Nice.
Other than that, yeah.
You got any New Year's plans though?
I don't. See, I was just about to reach out to the boys.
Oh, you're gonna reach
to
the
talk
boys.
to them about see what they're doing.
See what's
My
going on.
sister's weaseling off before New Year's. She wants to be back with her husband, but he didn't make the trip. So
Okay.
they spent Christmas together, and then they just quickly came.
Nice.
And then so I just got to be around them. How about yourself?
No, hey man, just hanging around, just chilling out, nothing special. I usually take the trip down south to Mexico, but not this year. Yeah, so
well, because we're going to Jamaica.
Yeah, in
like
February.
a month later.
Yeah,
exactly.
in February. So go chill with the fams. No, actually, I'm not. It's more of a wedding thing, but we'll give a shout out.
There you go.
Yeah, my family's house is on the other side of the island.
Did you get the boys to stop trying to make plans?
Yeah, I told you, I'm not getting on that agenda, man. That is absurd. Like, listen, anybody who knows, you don't go to Jamaica and you're not on this strict schedule. You know what? You just go with the flow. I know sometimes at the house, it's like, okay, we plan something and then we get on island time. So it takes all day to do whatever you want to do. So I'm going there to just kick it, relax it, and just enjoy the sun. You know what I mean? Enjoy the sun, brother.
Especially just like February is going to be the best time.
You know
it's the worst month. I don't know what you feel, but like worst month by far in Toronto.
Dude,
it's always the coldest.
It's gloomy. It's gloomy, right? Dude, I remember one year I came back from Mexico or Dominican or something like that, and I didn't see the sun for like 2.5 weeks after that. It's like what
There's
in
one
the
good
days?
silver lining though. Yeah. The 20th or the 21st, I forget which day, was the shortest day of the year.
On December 20th. Yeah,
exactly.
the
so
solstice.
it just
the
gets
winter
better
solstice.
from every day. I think we increase a minute every day. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think it's like 10 seconds or something along.
Something
it's
like
second. So yeah, the days are getting longer. That's the thing that sucks, is that we get dark around 4:30 around those woods.
Okay, guys, we got about 30 seconds left. I hope everybody had a fantastic day. Obviously, the market caught in a bit of a range today, to be expected, until the new year. But hey, we got a couple of outsized moves. Broadcom specifically up 2.5%. It, we're theorizing. Obviously, it alone has kept the NQ at least close to flat. The NQ down now 0.01. We shall talk more about that. It is now 2 o'clock, though. We are going to send you to the Big Kahunas. We'll be back same time, same channel tomorrow. See ya.
Hey. How's it going, everyone?
You had a sub for lunch, I heard?
Yeah, it's not bad. Firehouse.